Now, let's get ready for the kickoff with George Grijalva and Mickey Dale. Tiger football on KXORadio.com.
Good evening and welcome to Larry Shimamoto Eddie Simpson Stadium on the campus of Imperial High School as the Tigers play host to the Central Spartans. I'm Mickey Dale along with George Grijalva. We bring you the final home game of the 2022 regular season. Senior night, parents, family members, football players, cheerleaders, and band members that are seniors are all out front. It may take a while to go through all.
I forgot about the band members.
So they all the seniors and their parents and loved ones that fill in for them will be out there. So they're doing that right now. So it's senior night, and hard to believe it's our last regular season.
When you said that, I just
this is the ninth game of the season. It seemed like it went by
so quick.
That quickly.
So quick. I cannot believe that.
We had a couple of guys we were going to talk to before the game. They chickened out. We'll talk about them in a second. We do have a halftime interview. We're not going to tell you who it is, but he had one of the most decorated seasons
year.
Right. At Imperial High School, so we'll have him up at halftime. So make sure that you're listening at halftime. Now, we were going to have who for the
Jerry Bill Jackson and Mr. Pat Bristow.
Right.
From the class of 70.
They were class of 73, but their senior season was 72 football season. And they're both here, but they chickened down, didn't want to come talk to us.
I'm going to hunt that down.
If we see it, we're still going to try to get them up here and talk about that season 50 years ago, because, and I was telling you, George, before the game, before we went on here, that we think about the 1973 football season. That team went on to win the CIF championship, but that 72 team, they had been as good, if not better. They only gave up 3 touchdowns the entire season.
Yeah, I can't believe
it. And threw like 6 shutouts. And they were just an amazing team, too. And, of course, that was the building block to go to the 73 team. So we were going to talk to Jerry, Phil, and Pat about that, but they kind of got wet feet. So we're still going to try to get him up here at some point, at least to say hi during skip a commercial break or something to get them to come up here.
And then when I told you I spotted Mike Sanchez down here,
right.
His granddaughter's on the band.
Okay, so there you go. That's why.
So he's been here a few times. That's why. It's the first time I spotted you here at home. But he was from class of 69.
Class of 69. Just checking in with Lee Elder. He said maybe over-modulating a little bit. Yeah, let's turn us down just a little bit here. Turn me down just a little bit. So it's not, there we go. I just had a mic there. I might have a little bit high. So anyway, Lee Elder will be checking in with us throughout the game. Our East Coast time representative. And let us know how the baseball game is going tonight as well.
Yeah, we'll give you some feedback.
Okay, so we'll move the phone. Everything is done by a cell phone, believe it or not. In the old days, and I was the guy that we're going to talk to at halftime remembers me telling him about how we used to take a rotary phone, and there would be a phone jack that would be put in specially for us. We would have to go in and unscrew that, screw in our wiring into that. Hardwired into that. And then we did everything to it. And you had to leave the handset off the telephone, because if you rung it up, you'd be disconnected. Okay. So you'd look over and you'd see that, and sometimes you'd want to reach to put it on there, but you couldn't do it. Well, tonight is the Division III 6th-ranked Tigers coming off a heartbreaking 20-17 overtime loss to the 8th-ranked Division II Brawley Wildcats. That evened up Imperial's overall record of 6-2, 1-1 in the IBL. Meanwhile, the Division II 5th-ranked Spartans are 4-3 overall with a 2-0 IBL record. But their overall record a little bit deceiving when you think they lost to Palm Desert in overtime, and then they lost to the Division II #1 Granite Hills, who's been really tough, and then to Division I Modern Day Catholic, who last year was undefeated and won the CIO championship in Division III. So that's what their losses are. So when you look at that, they've got a good record. Centro had last week off after beating Calexico 34-14. The other IBA win was the 48-7 dismantling of Southwest, 48-7 last month. The Tigers will complete the regular season next Friday. We'll go a little bit south of here to Southwest. They'll take on those St. Eagles in the 13th annual Johnny Romero helmet game. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what feedback.
Yeah, let us know if we sound any better.
Lou, let us know how we're sounding back there. And I know Jonathan might be listening tonight too. He was asking if we were on. He said the Meat Buffaloes are 59-7. Yeah, he said the boys and tuned in. So hello, Jonathan, my former cohort doing the football games, and his wonderful wife, Nora Bell, back in Meade, Kansas. And then our wonderful grandkids, our Kansas grandkids, and they include, we got that reconnected, all right, our wonderful grandkids, our Kansas grandkids, because we have an Oregon, Kansas. Yep, Meade, Kansas. And that would be Peter and Caleb and Samuel and Andrew, who's the biggest funny forever, I tell him. Anyway, we're all listening back in Meade, Kansas tonight, where the Meade Buffaloes won 59-7 this afternoon. They play 8-man football there. And so I want to get back at some point to watch some games back there to see what an 8-man football team looks like. Of course. Yep, you bet. And they won the state championship in 8-man football in all of Kansas last year. Yeah, so they got quite a team. And
you said they have the Kansas State colors.
Kansas State colors, yeah, the purple and gray, yeah, just like the Kansas State Wildcats. Thanks for listening in back there in Meade, Kansas. John, Nora, and the boys. And sound the same hum in the background. I'm not sure where the hum's coming from, but we're trying to figure out what that is. We'll have, there's continue to do the senior announcements right now, and we'll be back with more of our pregame show in just a moment.
This is Jason Jackson, and I'm running to return to the El Centro City Council. Are you tired of reading about crime in El Centro? Are you tired of having to deal with an ever-increasing homeless population? Me too. This is my home, and over the last 2 years, I have been frustrated over the lack of leadership in addressing these two issues. I have a proven track record of solving our city's issues, and with your help, I will bring my leadership and experience. I will work to address the safety of our residents and businesses, and I will work with stakeholders in addressing and reducing our homeless population. So on November 8th, vote Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council 2022.
Learning a new skill, continuing your education, or returning to school for the first time can be stressful. IVC has the resources to help you succeed by offering programs to eligible students who qualify for tuition assistance, book grants, and additional programs like IVC's Kitchen Pantry, housing program, career services support, and so much more. Let Imperial Valley College help you become a college graduate. Visit imperial.edu/admissions to register today. Imperial Valley College is recognized nationwide as a top 10 community college for college excellence.
Here at Shimamoto Simpson Stadium in Imperial, the Tigers taking on the Central Spartans tonight, and we may be delayed with the actual kickoff time because they're doing senior night, and there are a bunch of them. They're going to probably go from about the 10-yard line to the 10-yard line. I'm thinking are pretty close to it.
Okay, so we have the band members coming out now.
Right, they have some of the right. They take the senior band members, the senior cheerleaders, and the senior football players, and if they have their parents that are available, they come out. Sometimes a sibling will come out with them, and they will announce them on senior night. They go through a hoop full of balloons that are red and white and silver that they walk out underneath, and are then announced in front of this big crowd, which I think will probably be the biggest crowd we've had this season. We had a big one last game against Brawley, but it'll be an equally, if not bigger one against Central tonight. It was a heartbreaker for the Tigers last week, losing to Brawley 20-17 in overtime without freshman running back Rashard Robinson. Imperial took to the air to score the first touchdown of the game as Devin Meza caught a 20-yard screen pass from C.J. Tiernan that gave the Tigers a 7-0 lead on their opening drive. Wildcats then tied it up with 17 seconds remaining in the half on an Ethan Gutierrez Robert Plant pass, and it was 7-7 at intermission. Wildcats took the lead after the Tiger turnover as Gutierrez scored from 9 yards out on a quarterback keeper, but the Tigers would tie it up with 2:32 to go on a Tiernan to freshman Gio Robles' 6-yard touchdown, which was sent into overtime at 14-14. That's his first varsity touchdown pass, and it was impressive.
Pass or reception?
No, he had a reception before, the game before. He had to,
that's right. You're right. That's right.
So this one was in the corner and got the touchdown, but it was his first varsity touchdown, and man, he's going to be something, I think. It's going to be something.
Something special.
Yep. Well, it was 14-14 after regulation. Then Ethan Gonzalez nailed a 37-yard field goal for the Tigers to begin overtime, putting Imperial up 17-14. But Brawley and their opportunity on overtime to get the win as Tanner Carranza would score from a yard out to post the 20-17 victory. Now, I said I would give you some time so you can figure out why the Division II team that's expected to be a Division III barely wins on the road and goes up 4, and the Division III that almost won the game drops 2.
I don't know. Let me get some Tylenol, though, before I start thinking about that. You can't figure them out.
I can't either. I would have thought, if anything, Imperial would have stayed the same. Probably maybe move up a couple because it beat a team that would be, 6-1 going into the game.
And we're ranked 4th.
We were 4th. Now we're 6th.
Yeah.
So we dropped 2.
So that's
they
good
moved
for
from
them.
12th to 8th by beating a division lower team to them.
So even if we beat them, I think we
might have dropped.
We might have dropped.
Right. We might have dropped. I don't know. Kind of weird how they do that stuff. Meanwhile, the Spartans' last IBL game was a huge one for quarterback Damian Rodriguez, as he was named the San Diego Union Tribune Athlete of the Week 2 weeks ago for completing 17 of 18 passes for 349 yards and 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers. The Centro dominated Calexico 34-14. Sophomore Sergio Lopez got 5 of those passes for 101 yards and a touchdown. And Charlie Sullivan leads the rushing attack, and he is about a one-man band in the running attack. He has 772 yards rushing. He has scored 11 of the Spartans' 12 touchdowns on the ground.
Wow.
So, yeah,
and he was their start last year, too. Did very well last year.
Yep, he's a strong running back.
Had to expect that from him.
Yep, no doubt about it. They've got the senior night festivities completed. The Pride of Imperial Band is out on the field. The Tigers have yet to come back out, and we will be back with more in just a moment.
Start that day off right with your favorite drinks from Brickhouse Coffee, next door to Brickhouse Deli at the Lisa Tucker Center in Imperial. Brickhouse Coffee has so many drinks to choose from. Hot drinks, blended drinks, or cold drinks, including the best tea in the valley with different flavors. Open daily with a convenient drive-thru. And next door, Brickhouse Deli with big, full, fresh flavor. The Valley's premier deli, serving breakfast and lunch. So, come visit them both at the Lisa Tucker Center on West Ayton Road in Imperial.
For over 60 years, the Imperial Quarterback Club has supported all sports teams at Imperial High School. The money they raise goes a long way, keeping our kids busy with school activities. Members are parents and community people who care and want to donate their time. If you would like to become a member, call Betty or Larry Zinn at 760-355-1312. That's 760-355-1312. The Quarterback Club wishes the Imperial Tigers a great season. Go Tigers!
Tigers getting ready to come back out onto the stadium. The Spartans on the far sideline are all white tonight with blue helmets with white Spartans in script on the side. They have blue letters. And tonight the Tigers will go back to all red. Red jerseys, red pants, red helmets piping down the middle in white. They have their numbers on one side of the helmet and the interlocking IT on the other. So white against red tonight here in Imperial and the Central Spartans. It's been a game of streaks when you talk about this Tiger-Spartan rivalry, which in the last 14 meetings is deadlocked at 7-7. After a last-second field goal loss at the end of the 2009 game, which was Imperial's first in the IVL, the Tigers would go on to win the next 7 games in a row. 3 of those were by big scores, 40-point victories by Imperial that time. However, Ricky Pena came in, Brawley graduate, as the Central head coach, and since then the Spartans have now won the last 6 in a row, including last year's 28-7 win at Cal Jones Field in El Centro. So tonight's game, whoever wins it will break the deadlock of the 7-7 tie. And we'll be back for the kickoff of tonight's game and the finish of our pregame in just a moment.
Have you been wanting new flooring but putting it off? Don't wait anymore. Derma Floor Covering has the flooring you want at blowout prices. Yes, I mean blowout prices. Hardwood plank, regularly priced $9.99 a square yard, now $3.99 a square yard, and over 1,100 square feet in stock. Select tiles, regularly priced $5.99 to $6.49 a square foot, now on sale at $1.34 to $1.99 a square foot. Stop by Derma's Floor Covering today, 220 North J Street in Imperial. Your flooring wishes can come true at Derma's Floor Covering.
Wake up with Broken Yolk Café, open daily at 7 a.m., serving your favorite breakfast from omelets, pancakes, eggs benedict, waffles, and yes, Mexican breakfast too. Broken Yolk Café serves lunch till 2 p.m. from sandwiches, salads, and yes, of course, the all-American cheeseburger. Broken Yolk Café thanks you for voting us the best breakfast in town. Once again, you can order online at Broken Yolk Café, El Centro, or call 760-352-9655.
Hi, this is Jason Jackson, owner of Southwest Security. I've been providing private security locally for more than 20 years and have owned Southwest Security for more than 6.5 years. I'm proud to announce that we have over 250 employees working here in Imperial and Coachella Valley. Last year, I opened Southwest Postal, offering you 24-hour access 365 days a year. P.O. Box service to you. Also located at Southwest Security at the corner of 4th and Heil in El Centro. If you're in the need for security services, please call us at Southwest Security at 760-970-4500. That's 970-4500.
Your favorite NFL team plays on Imperial Valley's AM 1230, KXO El Centro.
Mickey Dale with George Grijalva for tonight's game between Imperial and Centro. One IVO game has already been completed this weekend as well. They defeated the Bulldogs in Calexico 42-8 last night, and that sets up a showdown for the Bell game next week against Central. That game will be played at Cal Jones Field in El Centro next week. And if Central wins tonight, the league championship all comes down to one game. Raleigh is 3-0 in league. Central 2-0 in league. So if Central were to win tonight, then they would be in the Bell game for the championship. And what Imperial did in the past a few times was to disrupt the card by beating one of the two teams. And so if Imperial
I was just going to ask, what if, after we beat them, what happens?
Well, if Imperial were to beat Central tonight and then beat Southwest next week, they would have one league loss. Okay. And Central would have one league loss. Okay. And if Central beat Raleigh, they would have one league loss.
Okay. That was the scenario I was trying to paint.
That's the scenario we can get. Captains are out in the middle of the field right now, getting ready with the coin toss. Gavin Marini is one of the captains for the Spartans. Can't really see the other numbers. We'll get to Andres Castellum. That's Shaw, Devin Meza, and Zach Ray are the captains for Imperial. It looks like Skylar Cook is one of the captains for Jerry Lee Armstrong.
Hey, Jerry. I can't see the number behind. Yeah, 32. 32, okay. 32 is one of them.
And that is Rudy Lizaola. We can't quite get the other one, but we'll keep an eye on it to see how this
2-10
kick is going to be.
Tiger Cook and Charlie Sullivan.
The Spartans won the toss. They deferred. So the Tigers will be receiving the ball and receiving it from the south end to open up this ball game. Other games on tonight, and we'll keep you posted on scores throughout the evening. The other IVL team in action tonight is Southwest. They'll be hosting the once-beaten Palo Verde Yellow Jackets. And in the Desert League, Colville heads to Calexico to take on Vincent Memorial, and Calipatria will head over the hill to take on Maranatha Christian High School in San Diego. So that's what we've got on tap for the evening, and we'll also keep you updated on the baseball game that is going tonight. The Padres and the Phillies are playing tonight, so we'll keep you updated on that as well. Kyla's checking in up in Idaho and saying it is 61 degrees.
Oh, gorgeous.
Up in Middleton, Idaho, just west of Boise.
No more Boise.
And so we're glad to have you with us again tonight.
Yes,
I'm sure Bill Teets is going to be able to listen to us tonight. Usually he watches his nephew play for Modern Day, number one team in the country, but Bill's there watching the game in person. So I don't think Bill will be listening tonight.
No.
He'll be watching his nephew, Elijah Brown, is the quarterback for the number one team in the country, and that is Bill Teets from the class of 1976. But it's his nephew that is on that. And one of the person that's here, we were talking about Jerry Jackson and at Bristow being here, but Rashard Robinson's brother is here, and he's one of the top running backs in the country. Roderick Robinson. He plays for Lincoln High School, and he had committed to UCLA, but has decommitted and is now proudly wearing a Georgia shirt. Go Dogs. Right. And will be going to the University of Georgia. But if you go on to YouTube and look for and type in Roderick Robinson, watch him. He is.
I have to do it. I haven't done that.
He's quite a ball. So the kickoff by Miles Rodriguez is going to be caught, fumbled by Rashard Robinson that picks it up at the 25-yard line, turns up field, and will be tackled right near the 26. They're going to mark him at the 25, and that's where the Tigers will have the ball 1st and 10.
Yeah, he fumbled that a couple of times.
Little jitters, hadn't played in a couple of games. He's been injured, had a leg injury that he suffered in the Calexico game. And so we hadn't been able to watch him in action, and he's back out tonight.
Yeah, there's kind of a short taken towards the sideline. He had to hustle to get there.
C.J. Tiernan, starting at quarterback, senior quarterback for the Tigers. And Seth Shaw will be to his left side. They'll be in the shotgun formation. Going out wide right will be Gio Robles and Ali Perez and Devin Meza. And on the far side, not sure if that's Jared or not. I can't remember. No, it's going to be Suarez. And take the handoff up the middle, and CJ will take it around the left side. He'll get a yard out of it. It'll be a 2nd down and 9.
He's brought down by Jared Martin after about a yard, right? Yeah, about a yard.
Yeah, 2nd and 9 from the 26. Tigers going with a no-huddle offense, as they usually do. I like to see CJ reel some off. He had some 100-yard games last year. Now he comes to the sideline, and Gavin Robles will come in at quarterback for Imperial. Gavin, 15 of 21 on the season, 171 yards. It's 71% completion ratio. Junior quarterback is in now. And, have Shaw to his left side in the shotgun. Hand it off up the middle. Shaw will try to squeeze his way around the left side. He'll be tackled right at the 30-yard line. Be a gain of 4. But the Tigers looking at a 3rd and 5 from the 30.
Brought down by number 58 for the Spartans, Israel Santiago, junior linebacker.
CJ comes back in at quarterback, and Robles will come to the sideline. Rashard Robinson comes into the lineup, and he'll go slot left and make a slot right. Now he'll move over to the left side. So he and Suarez will be wide to the left side, and Perez and Robles, that's Gio Robles, will go to the right side. Gio, the younger brother of Gavin, is now at quarterback. Moves Shaw to his right. Takes the snap, goes back to pass. Gonna go deep. Has Robles, his brother, can't quite come up with it. Good defensive pressure, though, that was keeping himself between the quarterback and receiver by Nehemiah Perez, and the Tigers will have to punt going 3 and out.
Great decision by the defender. That's 6 or 8. Look at that number again.
8? And then, or is it a 6?
Look at it, 8's on the pink box.
Okay, all right, I'll take that back. Okay.
They're
right
next to each other now.
Taller, man. You have to look for the socks. Because the 6 and the 8 are all bunched up, and they look alike. Italy flag will go down.
Too many players on the field. First down.
Yeah, too many players on the field by Centro. Wow. And so there is one extra player on the field. There are 12 out there, so a 5-yard penalty should give the Tigers a first down at the 35. So an illegal substitution, it is called, and a 5-yard penalty coming up. We're very close to a first down. The ball is right on the middle of the 30-yard line, and they need to get to the 35. So they have a mark of yardage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, some players have walked off now, but the back judge counted them all, and now he's going to pick the ball up and move it. So now the Tigers will get the first down. Yeah, I was wondering, you can't call it and show it and throw the flag and then not put the yardage out there. So the penalty is going to go against Central, and will give the possession continuing to the Tigers. 1st and 10 now at their own 35-yard line.
Oh, my sister just checked in. So her and my brother-in-law Bill is listening in from Oceanside. He did not give me a temperature, though.
Oh, we need a temperature.
Yeah.
If you're checking in, we got to have the temps.
Listening to us and watching the Padre games.
Hey, there you go. That sounds a good idea.
I'll take that.
The Tigers are 1st and 10 now, they're on 35. Turning the quarterback in the shotgun. Hits the snap, goes back to pass. Sets up. Going to go deep again to the near side, and it's going to go out beyond Gio Robles, who kind of got twisted around a little bit on that. Little miscommunication.
He looked over both shoulders, so I don't know which way he's supposed to go. I think left, because that's where CJ threw.
So it'll be a 2nd down and 10.
He got behind the defender, though.
Yeah, I think we need to take advantage of the situations when you got a player that's that tall. Now, I haven't seen Jared Nixon. Is he injured this week? I haven't heard anything, but I don't see him on the sideline either.
I'll look for him real quick.
Okay. So the Tigers now with a 2nd down and 10 from their own 35. Tiernan looks at his wrist to get the play. And you look at the other players, they all do the same. So I don't know what's being called. There's no huddle offense. That's how they're getting a place from the sidelines. Tiernan gets the snap, goes back to pass. Has to roll out to his right, and you're going to get back. You're going to get just dumped back there. Nowhere to go. Back around the 23-yard line.
You're right. I cannot spot him.
Jared Martin looked like came up with the sack on the play. Back inside the 25 of the 24, they're going to put it. So it's going to be a loss of 9. It'll be now a third down and 19 from the 24. That play just seemed like it took a long time to develop, didn't it?
Yeah, it took too long. Too. And Dominic was out wide on the left side by himself. I do not see Jared Nixon.
Right, and I haven't seen Jared on the sideline either. At 6'4", he's pretty easy to notice generally, but I do not see him on the sideline.
Oh, we got that.
Yes, Seth in the backfield, I mean. Just to the left side of Tiernan. Now the Tigers are going to get a delay game if they don't call timeout.
The wrong way, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's the wrong way. You can't do that with a good ball club, and this Central team is good. So it'll be a 3rd and 24, bring it all the way back to the 19-yard line. It just seems like it's taking too long to get the play called in there and then to run it.
Well, they're going no huddle, but CJ's still coming all the way to the sideline to get the play.
Perez will move to the right side along with Zach Ray now and Devin Meza. And Rashard Robinson comes into the lineup to the right side in the backfield with Tiernan. Now Robinson move over to the left side. Back to pass Tiernan. It's going to be a short pass, and it's going to be blocked and knocked down. It's going to be a screen pass, and it was a good idea to do it, but the execution wasn't there. And a 4th and 24, and we're going to have to lean on the leg of Ethan Gonzalez once again. Ethan comes into this week's game averaging 51 yards a punt, number 2.
Number 2 now.
Number 2 in the country, averaging 51 yards a punt, and he's going to be relied on now to kick a very good one.
And we get to watch him.
It's snapped down, nice high kick. Coming up to the 47 yards to take it is the Spartans. They'll get inside the 50-yard line to the Tiger 48 and bringing it back Arturo Estrada. And the Central Spartans will go on offense for the first time with 8:56 to go in the first quarter and no score.
We have David Mesa and Pablo Moreno combining for the tackle to bring him down. We have great coverage.
Offensively for the Spartans, Damian Rodriguez at quarterback. Charlie Sullivan will be the tailback. H-back Gavin Marini, and they switch people around. Skyler Cook, you'll hear at the H-back position at times tonight. Wide receiver Sergio Garcia and Arturo Estrada. Emiliano Morales, another receiver for the Spartan team. 1st and 10 from the Tiger 48, the first play of the game. And Rodriguez will have Sullivan behind him, and they'll be in a pistol. And up the middle to Sullivan. Sullivan breaks through the line, powers his way inside the 45 to about the 44-yard line. Give him a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6.
Right up the middle, J.J. Jimenez was able to knock him over.
Nothing special with it, just pounding football, and that's what they do a good job of. Defensively for the Tours, along the front line, let's get them for Central. Israel Santiago at a tackle along with Anthony Ramirez. The guards are Eli Osuna and Nicholas Jimenez, and Brennan Havens is the center. And on defense for the Tigers, Aiden Shields along the front line with Jose Apodaca and Max Alvarez. The linebacker, Zach Ray, Julian Jimenez has been, and they've been moving people around on that. Pablo Moreno, Ethan Reeves will get the backs in a moment for you. Rodriguez, the quarterback, sets up, going to pass a short one to the near side, going to complete it behind the line of scrimmage, breaking some tackles, getting inside the 40-yard line. Not quite to the first down, but it's about the 39 is where it will go. That's going to be completed to Arturo Estrada, and it'll be a 3rd down and 1 from the 39 after a 5-yard gain.
We had that covered so well. He was able to get away from the first 2 defensive linebacker in the end for the
3rd and 1 from the 39 of the Tigers on Central's first possession of the ball game. Up to the line. Sullivan's going to take a direct snap. Tries to draw the Tigers, can't do it. Then he's going to run on his own. We'll get the first down and then some. Still in his speed, powering inside the 35-yard line. Inside the 30, just inside the 30-yard line. Give him a gain of 9 and a first down for Central.
Oh, some power football there, right up the middle. David Mesa finally brought him down, but now they got the first down.
88 carries, 772 yards on the season, and 11 touchdowns for Charlie Sullivan. And we've watched him for the last couple of years before now. He's just an incredible athlete. He really does a good
Fast
job.
and strong.
Yep. And once he gets going, he's running downhill. If you think about that, you're almost having to catch up to your legs because your body's moving so fast down. Timeout is on the field.
Not yet. Oh,
they're trying to get the chain set up on the far side. Now they've got that, so they're ready to go. Looks like a direct snap again going to Sullivan. So nothing fancy here by the Spartans. They'll just direct snap and let him go. And here he goes. Goes over right tackle. Uses his blockers well, then breaks tackles. Will get inside the 20-yard line to about the 17, it looks like. And that will be enough for another first down.
David Mess again. 2 plays in a row. David has to bring him down. It looked like he had broken it to the outside, and it was going for a TD.
Timeout on the field. 6:33 to go in the first quarter. And the score, 0-0, the Tigers and the Spartans.
Bo and his team of employees at Stan's Auto Body are constantly striving on giving you 100% satisfaction on getting your vehicle repaired and fixed right. Stan's Auto Body is grateful for the support they hear from the job they're doing and being highly rated with CarWise.com. Yes, accidents are disturbing, and Stan's Auto Body is here for you to ease the pain and fix your vehicle as fast as possible. Stop by at 1880 West Euclid Avenue in El Centro.
El Zarape restaurant in Imperial is 100% authentic Mexican cuisine. Their extensive menu features traditional handmade Mexican dishes with nothing but fresh ingredients. El Zarape restaurant has taken it over the top with their creative ideas like stuffed special quesadillas with carne asada, shrimp, or pollo asada. And yes, there's something on the menu for everyone, like 17 different burritos. El Zarape restaurant, open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
First and 10, Spartans at the Tiger 17. Again, direct snap to Charlie Sullivan, goes over right tackle. It hits hard at the line of scrimmage, but his extra momentum will get him inside the 15-yard line to about the 13. Still gain of 4. Second down and 6.
Good job by J.J. Jimenez to bring him down. Still push J.J. over, though.
30 yards on 4 carries already.
And it's just on Nicholas is Jimenez. That's J.J.'s cousin.
Okay.
I coached him when he was 10 here in Imperial.
Base Sullivan will get the direct snap again. He'll run up the middle, gets hit at the line of scrimmage. He'll still get positive yardage, though, as he'll get down to, no, it's going to be about, we'll be inside the 10 to the 9, it looks like. Finally putting the ball down, they're going to mark it at the 9-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4. So a third down and 2 coming up for the Spartans. Nothing fancy.
Nothing
4
right
straight.
up the middle. Power football, that's all they're doing.
4 straight direct snaps to Charlie Sullivan, and he'll stay in that position another down on a second down, or a third down and 2 from the 9. And penalty flag goes down. Was there some movement by the Spartans? Let's see on the call.
I don't know which way this ref was pointing. This guy called it here.
I think it's going to be a legal procedure against the Spartans. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. J.J. Jackson taking his time walking over all the way up. Getting a little publicity time there. It'll be the 5-yard penalty. Make a third down and 7.
He wants to tell Coach Shaw right in his ear what happened.
Just about did. He kind of strutted over there.
He's a character. Great basketball player.
Oh, man, at IBC. Goodness. I loved calling those games on another radio station back then when he was playing. He was exciting. And when he got hot from the outside, oh, my word, no stopping. Rodriguez going to come back in a quarterback, goes back to pass. Going to set up, look across the middle, has a receiver, going to complete it. Tackled immediately at the 9-yard line, though, and they'll get the 5 yards back, but a 4th down and 2 coming up at the 9.
Good job by Mesa to stay with him. As soon as he caught it, he brought him down.
Not sure who caught that because it happened so quick and down.
I think it was number 5.
Was it 5? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He came all the way across the field from the right side.
It'll be his first reception of the night.
Oh, we got a 4th and about 2.
Yeah, 4th and 2.
Oh, good time to stop them.
Oh, 4th and 2 at the 9. Direct snap to Sullivan. Goes at the middle. He gets stopped, and the Tigers defense holds the Spartans at the 10-yard line, and Imperial will take over possession.
Pablo Moreno and J.J. Jimenez. Got J.J. with 3 tackles already for the night. Sophomore linebacker for the Tigers.
Oh, that was a big stop.
Great hit.
Big
Stood him
stop.
up, too.
And lost a yard on that. And the Tigers take over possession. 4:21 to go in the first quarter. No score here in Imperial. The Tigers and the Central Spartans in Imperial Valley League play. And Imperial will have the ball right at the 10-yard line. Their own 10. Let's see if they get something going this time around. We're able to get one first down on the last possession, but that was thanks to a penalty. Trying to get something going here. Tiernan will be a quarterback. We'll have Rashard Robinson move over to his left side. Gets the snap. Back to pass Tiernan. Going to throw short. Going to get it to Robinson. Completes the pass. Breaks off a one tackler, but then there's other Spartans that are there, and it's going to be a loss on the play. If he had gone down originally, still might have had a loss, maybe a yard loss. Boy, when he went back on his second effort, he's going to use it back to about the 7, and it'll be a loss of 3, second down and 13.
Yeah, he fought harder on that. When he got swung around, he broke loose, but he went the wrong way. He's still back there?
Richard missed a couple of games after getting injured in the Calexico game. We're hoping he was hoping he could play last week, but it wasn't to be.
That would have been the difference, I think.
I really think so too, George.
We could not get it outside.
Tiernan quarterback from the shotgun. Gets the snap, goes back to pass. Pretty heavy rush, gets the pass off on the far side, not getting up in the air quick enough to get it is Dominic Suarez. It'll be incomplete, third down and 13.
That was a little high for him. But great coverage by the Spartan halfbacks. They're doing a great job by the quarterbacks.
So third down and 13 for the Tigers from their own 7-yard line. No score here in Imperial with 3:28 to go in the first quarter play. Tigers will have trips to the right, one receiver to the left. Tiernan gets the snap, goes back to pass, looks over to the near side, going to pass it, intercepted. Go way over the receiver,
exactly.
Intercepted and bringing it back inside the 5-yard line. And being a big push by the Spartans. They're going to stop it at the 4-yard line and coming up with the interception. Ociel Rodriguez will get the interception.
Way over Zach. Outstretched arms. No chance for that.
That's going to give the Spartans a first and goal. And they'll put it right at the Tiger 4-yard line. That's the 5th interception thrown by CJ this year. And hope that a turnover doesn't lead to points. Unfortunately, that happens too often, especially when you're deep in your own territory. When you're backed up to your wall like it is, you got to make sure on those passes. Sullivan will take the direct snap. Gets it, runs out to the right side, tries to stretch it out. Will the Tigers be able to stop him?
No,
he'll get it right through.
Great blocking by the Spartans.
Yeah, kind of sealed that off. And Sullivan will go in for the touchdown, and the Spartans lead at 6-0.
I've never seen that left outside linebacker come through. I don't know what happened to it, but I know that the two backs were on Devin and Seth Shaw. Great blocking. Well, we plugged up the middle, but now they found the outside.
Sullivan showing the speed that he has, too.
Untouched.
Yeah, coming in for the extra point attempt will be Miles Rodriguez, and the ball up and good. Now 22 of 26 on the season, and with the time at 3:06 in the first quarter, it's the Spartans 7 and the Tigers 0.
The Imperial Tiger Football Association was started years ago to help the football team with much-needed equipment and sending the players to special training. Now, through their fundraising efforts from the past and now, the Imperial Tiger Association is proud of what they have accomplished and what they will continue to do in the future. They're always looking for new members. You can call Victor at 760-960-6317. That's 960-6317 if you're interested in helping out. Go Tigers!
One play, 4 yards. As we said, sometimes those turnovers come back to bite you. And the interception by Ociel Rodriguez sets up the Spartans at the 4-yard line. Charlie Sullivan punches it in on one play. Took 6 seconds. And with the extra point by Rodriguez, it's a 7-0 Central lead. Rodriguez with the kickoff. And the Tigers will go down to their knees to get it. It kind of took a of a baseball bat hop there. And the Tigers will cover to the 32-yard line, and they'll have the ball 1st and 10.
It's just a little pooch kicking. He went to his knees to get it, so he can't move after that.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers, going to run 32-yard line. We're going to get something going on offense, which has been kind of a bugaboo for us this year. We have not been able to get a real good
not a point. We can't put up very many points. That hurts us. Great defense, though, but you can't do it.
Can't be out there all the time.
Out there all the time, you can't.
Turner quarterback will have Seth Shaw back in the backfield with him now to his left side. In the shotgun once again. We'll hand it off up the middle. Seth finds some room to run. Gets out across the 35-yard line, 45-yard line. And he'll be brought down at that point, but a 1st down at the 45 and a gain of 13 by Seth Shaw.
2 great cuts to the left. Just great peripheral vision by Seth. Breaks himself loose up for a 1st down.
Robinson will come into the lineup replacing Perez and will be one of the receivers to the right side along with Robles and Meza. And Suarez on the far side, the short side of the field by himself. Tigers looking at their plays on their wrist again. They need to keep it quick, though. Sharp Robinson in motion. Going to hand it off on the left side, and Spartans are waiting for it.
He should have
as soon as he got the ball, if that was an option, then ran optimally, and Richard got tackled immediately at the 40-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 5, 2nd down at 15.
He ran into 2 or 3 defenders as soon as he got the ball.
It wasn't like one guy.
Yeah, I think
it was a bunch of guys.
It looked like CJ was trying to get the ball back. That would have been good, perfect time to keep it, though.
So Richard will stay in the lineup, and he'll go now to the left side. So 2 wide receivers each side of the field. Shaw in the backfield with Tiernan. Man in motion is Robinson. Hand off up the middle to Shaw. Shaw over left tackle will get a couple of yards to the 42. But the Tigers now looking at a 3rd down and about 13 from the 42.
Brought down by number 40, Jacob de la Rosa, with the Spartans.
So 3rd and 13 for the Tigers from the 42-yard line, trailing the Spartans 7-0. Minute 22 to go in the 1st quarter play. Zach Ray back into the lineup as part of the 3 receivers to the right side.
Look how soft the defenders are here. At least 10 yards.
Tiernan back to pass. Heavy rush. Throws it over the middle. Has a receiver. Going to complete it to Zach Ray right at midfield and tackled immediately. The Tigers are looking at a 4th down and 5 from the 50-yard line. Gain of 8 on that one.
Rudy Lizaola made the tackle on Zach for the Spartans.
Second completion in 5 passes for Tiernan. This one the first with positive yardage of 8 yards.
Arturo Estrada.
Tigers are going to go for it. No, they're going to punt. Yeah, I was listening to the PA and they'll look over. No, Ethan's out the punt, and that's a good one. It's going to hit. But again, takes a opposing team bounce at the 20-yard line to the 22. It's going backwards.
It's not straight up.
Forward, yeah. So it'll be down to the 22-yard line, and that's where the Spartans will have the ball 1st and 10. 27.9 seconds remaining in this 1st quarter play. Central leading at 7-0.
Now we get a quick update here. Palo Verde in the 1st quarter, 28. Southwest, 0.
Will be at Southwest next Friday night.
Yeah.
Facing the Eagles.
I don't know when this game was played. Maranatha over Calapan, 49-27.
May have been played this afternoon. It was today, so maybe it played this afternoon. Barnes will send a man in motion, and then slow down as he gets in front of the quarterback, Rodriguez, who hands it off to Charlie Sullivan over left tackle. And Sullivan will pull his way out across the 25-yard line. Not the 26, so mark it at 26-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6.
Zach and JJ in on the tackle for the Tigers. Yeah, I need to. In fact, I was going to text my grandson, see if he could let me know about Nixon. What's going on with him? He's nowhere on the sideline.
And that'll be the end of the 1st quarter play with the score: the Central Spartans 7 and the Imperial Tigers 0.
This is Jason Jackson, and I'm running to return to the El Centro City Council. Are you tired of reading about crime in El Centro? Are you tired of having to deal with an ever-increasing homeless population? Me too. This is my home, and over the last 2 years, I have been frustrated over the lack of leadership in addressing these two issues. I have a proven track record of solving our city's issues, and with your help, I will bring my leadership and experience back to El Centro. I will work to address the safety of our residents and businesses, and I will work with stakeholders in addressing and reducing our homeless population. So on November 8th, vote Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council 2022.
Learning a new skill, continuing your education, or returning to school for the first time can be stressful. IVC has the resources to help you succeed by offering programs to eligible students who qualify for tuition assistance, book grants, and additional programs like IVC's Kitchen Pantry, Housing Program, Career Services Support, and so much more. Let Imperial Valley College help you become a college graduate. Visit imperial.edu/admissions to register today. Imperial Valley College is recognized nationwide as a top 10 community college for college excellence.
It was about 88 degrees when the game kicked off tonight. Next week we're looking at highs in the 80s.
Did you see that? 79 tomorrow, rain and wind.
It's going to be nice.
In fact, my sister said it was 69 in Oceanside.
Oh, how nice is that? Kyla was saying up in Idaho where she's at 61 degrees, a low of 41, and a high tomorrow of 55. Back to pass. Rodriguez takes one way, goes the other, and overthrows the intended receiver on the far sideline. Will fall incomplete. Intended for Arturo Estrada. And it will be a third down now and 6 from the 26.
Who's on the coverage? Oh, that's Joel Villacampos. Good coverage, man. He's running right next to him.
The elder says he's out walking the dog, but says that the Phillies-Padres game is the Phillies leading the Padres by a score of 4-2 in the top of the 8th. So we'll keep you abreast of that game going on in the National League Championship Series. Rodriguez, the quarterback, has a man in motion coming to the near side. Gets the snap, rolls out to his right. Now looks to pass back to the left. Got to go deep in double coverage. Overthrows the intended receiver. Good coverage back there by the Tigers. And it will be a 3-and-out for the Spartans.
With that Angel Barone and Mesa. They're taking it deep, though.
Yep, they're taking it deep, that's for sure.
That's one thing we have is pass defense is not shabby at all.
No, that was really good coverage in the backfield there. Nice long pass by Rodriguez.
You see it was straight.
No
error.
No real.
Ooh, almost got it.
Punt gets off, going to take a Spartan bounce inside the 30-yard line. Still goes inside the 30 to inside the 25 to the 23. So nice punt.
Good roll.
Yeah, from Miles Rodriguez. Good punt.
Seth was thinking about it. Those Tigers were a little too close for comfort for me. He should have got away from that ball.
You don't want to take any chances.
No.
Part of the touch.
Get blocked into that. That just happened to somebody. Who did that happen to? The Charger game, right?
Was it? I didn't.
Yeah, he got blocked into his own receiver on the punt. And the Chargers got the ball inside the 20, I believe it was.
The Tigers have the ball first and 10 on 23-yard line, going from the right to the left, from the north to the south. Here at Shinomoto Simpson Stadium. Tiernan at quarterback, going to carry it himself over the left tackle. Breaks a couple of tackles, and loses his helmet at the end of it. Yeah, at the end of that. Out to the 29-yard line, but a good gain of 6 yards, 2nd and 4, but he'll have to come out of the game for a play.
David Hartfield brought it down.
Nice run by CJ.
Yeah, it was.
It's one of the stronger runs we've seen him go this year. So Gavin Robles will come in, junior quarterback, and he has looked very sharp in the times he's been able to come down there.
I like the way he throws.
Yeah,
I like the way he throws.
He does a good job of running when he needs to as well. I remember getting over to Cibola when he was pressed into duty and a 9-yarder and that one running. So he's got some wheels too. He'll have Robinson in the backfield with him. They'll be in the pistol. The snap. Hands it off Robinson up the middle. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Breaks a couple of tackles. Gets to the steam. And he's gone. It's the foot race down the near sidelines and will be brought down at the Spartan 30-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers.
Woo! Skyler Cook caught him from behind. I didn't think he could do it, but he got him. You could see him slow down. Rashad's left leg is wrapped up.
He got up quickly afterwards. It just wrapped up, but he got up quickly. 41-yarder on that one. His longest run from scrimmage this year. And the Tigers have a 1st and 10 at the Spartan 30-yard line. Boy, breaking the tackle at the initial line of scrimmage. Beautiful. Wow, showing some strength. Lower body strength. Freshman running back. Tiernan back into the lineup. Fakes the handoff. Going to keep it himself, but it just took too long to get the option going. He'll get positive yardage. He'll get inside the 30-yard line to about the 29 for a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9.
He's brought down by number 53 for the Spartans. Israel Glasgow. Yeah, it looks like they missed the handoff. It was like they were too far apart. Yeah. He was reaching out, and Rashad went towards the line and says, stay in the backfield.
Zachary in the slot. Suarez wide left for the Tigers. Robles wide right. And in the slot for Imperial, it's like Devin Meza. Staying in the shotgun. And now Tiernan looks over to the sideline. They're not sure what to do. They need to get the play off quick, but they're going to have his leg in. Now they're set to go. 6 minutes time. Tried to call timeout. 9:17 to go in this first quarter of play, or the first half of play. And it's the Spartans 7 and the Tigers 0.
Start that day off right with your favorite drink from Brickhouse Coffee, next door to Brickhouse Deli at the Lisa Tucker Center in Imperial. Brickhouse Coffee has so many drinks to choose from. Hot drinks, blended drinks, or cold drinks, including the best tea in the valley with different flavors. Open daily with a convenient drive-thru. And next door, Brickhouse Deli with big, full, fresh flavor. The Valley's premier deli, serving breakfast and lunch. So come visit them both at the Lisa Tucker Center on West Ayton Road in Imperial.
For over 60 years, the Imperial Quarterback Club has supported all sports teams at Imperial High School. The money they raise goes a long way, keeping our kids busy with school activities. Members are parents and community people who care and want to donate their time. If you would like to become a member, call Betty or Larry Zinn at 760-355-1312. That's 760-355-1312. The Quarterback Club wishes the Imperial Tigers a great season. Go Tigers!
2nd down and 9 from the 29 for the Tigers on the Spartan 29. Robinson in the backfield to the left side of Tiernan. Looks over the defense, man in motion, Meza. Back to pass to Tiernan. Looks over the middle, over the head of Zach Ray, who had the defenders Tyler Cook beat, but the pass a little high, falls incomplete. 3rd down and 9.
I wish he would step and throw that instead of jumping up into the air like that. He's got to keep his legs under him. Put something on it.
Yep, you're right.
Zach had him beat.
He did. A little post pattern over the middle. Chris has now completed 2 of 6 in the game for a total of 5 yards. You hear the cheerleaders in the background wanting a touchdown. I think everybody here on this side is thinking that. For sure. Tiernan makes the handoff. Going to run it himself. But, wow, what a great job. We have to see who that is that made the tackle on that. What a great job Israel Roscone did on that. He rode on the running back, and then when Tiernan kept it, he just carried right onto him. That was a great job on defense. So 4th down and 9. No gain on the play. Oh. Ethan Gonzalez will come in to attempt
how many yards?
A 46-yard field goal.
Oh, my goodness.
46-yard.
Timeout.
And timeout will be on the field.
Centro.
8:36 to go in this first half. It's Central 7, Imperial 0.
Have you been wanting new flooring but putting it off? Don't wait anymore. Derma Floor Covering has the flooring you want at blowout prices. Yes, I mean blowout prices. Hardwood plank, regularly priced $9.99 a square yard, now $3.99 a square yard, and over 1,100 square feet in stock. Select tiles, regularly priced $5.99 to $6.49 a square foot, now on sale at $1.34 to $1.99 a square foot. Stop by Derma's Floor Covering today, 220 North J Street in Imperial. Your flooring wishes can come true at Derma's Floor Covering.
Wake up with Broken Yolk Café, open daily at 7 a.m., serving your favorite breakfast, from omelets, pancakes, eggs benedict, waffles, and yes, Mexican breakfast too. Broken Yolk Café serves lunch till 2 p.m. from sandwiches, salads, and yes, of course, the all-American cheeseburger. Broken Yolk Café thanks you for voting us the best breakfast in town. Once again, you can order online at Broken Yolk Café El Centro or call 760-352-9655.
46-yard field goal attempt, Ethan Gonzalez. Ball was high snap, gets it off. Long enough.
Just off.
It's no good, off to the left. You look a little bit. Boy, he had a lot of leg on that.
He had that.
That's 50 yards worth. I think the snap was
behind it.
Yeah. He did a good job of bringing it down to get the kick off, but I think that threw everything off. Otherwise, there's a lot of leg in that ball. But it goes incomplete or in.
And he still almost got this.
Yeah, he still almost got it. It was well lengthwise. Just pulled a little bit to the left. So with 8:31 to go in this first half, Central will take over possession.
I'm going to ask him what he eats because I need some of that.
Yeah, wow. That was a strong kick. With the high snap, I didn't think he'd get much of a kick on him at all.
It's a good job by CJ to get that back
He
out.
did, yeah, to give it a shot. And now Sullivan up the middle. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff of Mason. Aiden Shields.
I think it was Aiden.
Bowled with his mom and dad last night of the bowling alley, bowling to the right of us. Corey and Christina. So no gain. Be a loss of a yard, in fact. Second down and 11, back to the 28.
Sure hope we found something on defense to stop that.
Yeah, I had to do that.
They had a good drive that first try.
You haven't covered there for sure.
We better stop this quick.
Sullivan, the left side of quarterback Rodriguez. The snap goes out to his left, looking downfield. Throws it in a short one. Going to be completed. Penalty flag goes down, though. And we may have, I don't know, is it possible to get offensive pass interference? Because the Tiger defender fell down on the ground back there. And so I'm not sure whether that's going to be the case or not.
They just called for 2 flags. Oh, there is 2 flags, right? Same spot. Okay.
We'll check to see what it's going to be. The referee's talking it over in the middle of the field now. I'm trying to look up real quick to see who number 5 is for Central because it's not in the program.
Oh, sure is.
Max, perhaps, and see if we can get the name on the player.
Well, so anyway, text my grandson Stephen. He said that Nixon is out hurt.
Yeah, we don't have a number 5. Okay. So Nixon
is hurt. But that's all he said, just hurt.
So there was a flag that was thrown about where the ball is at, which is the 30-yard line, but nothing. The ball has not been moved. It's going to go against Imperial, and it's probably going to be pass interference or a defensive hold. See what the call was going to be.
Well, he walks all the way over here.
Yeah, he's going all the way to the
Maybe he wants to tell this personally.
Defensive pass interference against the Tigers.
Declined.
And they have a 1st and 10, and they'll put the ball at the 39-yard line. Rodriguez will stay in the quarterback. 1,384 yards passing coming into the game. High snap, gets it to Sullivan up the middle. He gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe get a yard out of it. Maybe. But good stuff by the Tigers.
And Aiden Shields and Zach Ray.
So we'll give no gain on that. We'll give him a yard. It's going to be at the 40-yard line. So a gain of a yard. Be a second down and 9.
Good to see the Tiger defense doing so well against the run.
Sullivan's last 3 carries have netted him 4 yards. That's how much the defense is starting to spring up here for the Tigers. New running back in. We'll check with him in just a moment. Back to pass. Rodriguez rolls out to his right. Looks downfield. Has a receiver. Goes over one receiver, but another one is behind. Is going to make the catch. And it's going to be Gavin Marini. And it will be completed to the 47-yard line. That'll be a gain of 7. A 3rd down and 2 coming up.
B.F. Campos was able to ride him out of bounds. It's short of the first down. Just got an update right now. I lost it. Palo Verde 41, Southwest 0. Second quarter.
Marini, that's his first catch of the night. Came into the game with 17 catches, 185 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. 3rd down and 2 for the Spartans at their own 47-yard line. Sullivan will go direct snap. gets the ball. We'll go over left tackle, guard,
short,
gets stuffed.
Short.
Doesn't make it. He gets a yard, but he's going to be short. It'll be a 4th down and 1. Will the Spartans go for it near midfield?
Big Aiden again, 77. You're not going through him.
No. All of a sudden, when Sullivan started out, 5 carries, 34 yards, now has 10 carries, 38 yards. If I were the Spartans, I would go for it here too, though.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be hard not. There's less than 2 yards to go. The ball right at the 48-yard line. And Sullivan will be back there for a direct snap again. He'll decide where to go. He's just going to sweep it to the left side. Try to stretch it out. Tigers are going to come up. He's going to get the 1st down and more. He's at the Tiger 35 to the 30. It's a foot race to the nearest sideline, and he'll go all the way for the touchdown.
Both times. There's nobody out there.
Nobody out there, turns the corner, and it's just speed. Just turns it on, and that's it.
Nobody.
So after the Tigers had held him play after play after play, he's going to get the touchdown, and it's going to be good for 52 yards.
Shaw is going after the JJ. David Shaw's going after JJ. He's pointing out that way. He said, that's his call. That's his call, not mine.
So Rodriguez will come in for the extra point attempt. Marini on the hold. Kick is up, and it's good. With 5:08 to go in the first half of play, it's now Central 14, Imperial 0.
Hi, this is Jason Jackson, owner of Southwest Security. I've been providing private security locally for more than 20 years and have owned Southwest Security for more than 6.5 years. I'm proud to announce that we have over 250 employees working here in Imperial and Coachella Valley. Last year, I opened Southwest Postal, offering you 24-hour access 365 days a year. P.O. Box service to you. Also located at Southwest Security at the corner of 4th and Highland in El Centro. If you're in the need for security services, please call us at Southwest Security at 760-970-4500. That's 970-4500.
Scoring drive this time for the Spartans. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays is all. And they will go 71 yards. And it will use up 2 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. Sullivan with their 2nd touchdown of the night. It's his 13th touchdown of the season. This is a 52-yarder. And that will put him up now pushing 100 yards in the game with 90 yards on 11 carries. A lot of speed there, George.
Oh, it is.
And it's hard.
But Shaw is still over here on JJ's ear. He said, we're being held. He said, we're being held over there. But there's great blocks, though.
Kickoff from Rodriguez and the flag.
Offside?
It's going to be offsides on the kicking team. So we'll move that one back.
Oh, that's James over there. He's standing.
We want to give a shout out to Andy, Doug, and Josh. They've been listening every week, and we're glad to have him with him. I was telling you that Josh was our ring bearer and begged in our wedding 41 years ago. So glad to have you guys listening. And Roy Platt also checking in, saying back in Melissa, Texas, 73 degrees.
Awesome.
Back there. And also we have Rick Sharp, who normally listens in from Mississippi, but also tonight, Kenneth Danilov.
Danilov. Wow, that's a name from the past.
Kenny Danilov, class of 1976. Or 78.
Oh,
78.
Yeah, he was our stage.
Right, one after us. And good basketball player. He played basketball. So glad to have you tonight, Ken.
And Rick was from what class? Like 69, 70?
Rick, oh, yeah. He's a lot older than us. Or 76, one or the other.
Thank you for listening in, everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And stay tuned at halftime. As we mentioned, we've got a guy that in his senior year had all kinds of accolades, went on to play at IVC, and is visiting from Orange County. We're going to talk to him. Played back in the late 70s, and the ball will be kicked out of bounds at about the 32, so the ball will go to the 35. So it's a 3-yard penalty, really.
So obviously you know who it is.
Yeah, I know who it is. Nobody else says yes.
I have no idea who it is.
Yeah. Well, we got to keep in suspense now again.
Well, I know it's not my brother. Cause he's
not here. But, if he was here, we'd interview Art. That would be good.
He said he's going to be listening in, but he hasn't checked in.
If we end up getting into a San Diego game, maybe we can talk him to come over.
That's a good idea.
We can talk about that victory over Brawley back in
we may not get him off the mic, though.
I am 70. We might not, but that was a game I think all of us will always remember, that game in San Diego.
That was that.
And what a tremendous game that Mart played, and I think we mentioned last week Arnold Armstrong and Ricky Stevens both had 200 meters rushing each in that game against Broward. And it was one that was supposed to be a home and home deal. We went up there, but they wouldn't come back here the next year.
They wanted
no
to
part of Imperial
for
20-something years before they played Imperial again.
And did they win the league? You know,
I think Indio did that.
Indio,
if I remember right. I think they had a net of 76 yards of offense the whole night. They scored 3 touchdowns with their own special teams. Kickoff return and a couple of punt returns or something like that. They had no offense against Imperial, and we rolled up about 500 yards of offense. It's deep. It's going to be bounced off the hands of Mesa, and he's not going to get back to it quick enough. Will he get it? Yeah, he did. He crawled back to get the ball to the 30-yard line, and Imperial will have the ball there. Boy, we just had ball bouncing off their shoulder pads in this game.
Then once it bounced away, he reached for it, and he's crawling for it, and then he bounced away again. He kept pushing it away. He got it right at the last second. The Central defenders were right on it.
Elder says he's back after walking the dog. Still top of the 8, 4-2 Phillies. And thank you, Kenneth. Says we sound great tonight.
Thank you, Ken. Ken and Kathleen, I remember them well.
And Linda's saying, did you see Avery, a senior in the Pride of Imperial Band? That's hard to believe, Linda, because Avery is a senior. I wish we could have watched them come out, but we're just so busy with all the stuff we're doing here, we weren't able to do it. But wow, that's terrific.
That's what I tell the cheerleaders. The girls that come, when they come to the house, they say, I don't have time to look at you girls.
Yeah, I know, that's the truth. Tigers had the ball first and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Tiernan goes back to pass. He's going to get blocked again. Trying to set up a screen pass, and I'm afraid...
No, he would have picked it up.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was going to be intended for Richard Robinson, but Charlie Sullivan was right behind him, and I'm afraid that would have got picked off.
That was the blessing, I think.
I think you're right. I would say that would be...
They have that red, though.
Yeah.
The Central's got that one already.
They've got us scouted really well.
Great job at it.
Yeah. You got to hand it to their coaching staff. You're right. So it'll be a second down and 10 for the Tigers at the 30-yard line. Again, just the bugaboos are not getting some offense for Imperial. Just really struggling to get the yardage and the points. Tiernan hands it off to Richard. Richard bounces off the initial line, will twist his way out to the 35-yard line, a gain of 5. A third down and 5 coming up.
Great little cut to the right. He bounces right off that tackle, and he's so hard to see behind those guys.
So third down, actually going to give him 6 on that one to the 34. So it'll be a third down and 4 coming up. We'll give him 6 yards on that. 42 yards on 3 carries for Richard. But 41 of those, or 36 of that was on one play. 41 was on that one. Perez will move from the right side to the left side, alongside of Mesa, and then moves back to the right side. Hand out the middle again. They're just smart. While there's 4 guys on him, as soon as he touched the ball, they're just getting right through the Imperial offensive line, and the Tigers will have to punt again.
I wonder if the front line thought it was a screen pass.
I don't. You kind of want to, because they got in there so fast.
All 4 of them. All 4, maybe even 5.
It's going to be a loss of 4. Tigers will have a 4th down and 8. We'll have to punt.
Or Rashad.
I was thinking the same thing. My goodness.
Nothing you do.
No, as soon as he got the ball, he had 4 guys tackling him when he got the football. Ethan Gonzalez on the punt. Bull barely gets it off, too, and it's a great punt. But it barely got off. And a fumble. It's going to be picked up by the Spartans. But all the way back to the 34-yard line as Arturo Estrada gets on it quickly. And Central will have the ball first and 10, and they'll be at their own 33-yard line.
Great coverage by Victor Valenzuela. He was almost there to pick that one up.
3:23 to go in the first half. Central 14, Imperial 0.
I didn't get the yardage on that kick, did you?
Let's see. Well, it went from the 34, so 16.
34, that's 6. About 40. What, 42?
And it almost got blocked.
Yeah,
it was really close to being blocked.
That's a little bit of a high snap. Have to go to the right side to get it.
Rodriguez at quarterback, gets the snap, passes out to the left side. Gavin Marini makes the catch behind the line of scrimmage, going to be hit at the line of scrimmage. Actually, could be short and will never make it back to it. Gets hit at the 30-yard line, down to the 31, a loss of 2, second down and 12.
Zach Marini slowed him down, and then Joel Villacampos ended up finishing him up. Got him with the second tackle of the night.
Tigers defense has only given up 15 yards passing to the Spartans tonight. And Rodriguez against Calexico in his last game that they played 2 weeks ago had something like 379 yards and completed 17 of 18.
Yeah, you scared me when you were saying that.
Wow. Tonight he's 4 of 6 for 15 yards. Second down and 12. Sullivan to the right side of Rodriguez, timeout on the field. 2:32 to go in the first half. This is the Spartans 14, the Tigers 0.
Bo and his team of employees at Dan's Auto Body are constantly striving on giving you 100% satisfaction on getting your vehicle repaired and fixed right. Dan's Auto Body is grateful for the support they hear from the job they're doing and being highly rated with CarWise.com. Yes, accidents are disturbing, and Dan's Auto Body is here for you to ease the pain and fix your vehicle as fast as possible. Stop by at 1880 West Euclid Avenue in El Centro. El Zarape Restaurant in Imperial is 100% authentic Mexican cuisine. Their extensive menu features traditional handmade Mexican dishes with nothing but fresh ingredients. El Zarape Restaurant has taken it over the top with their creative ideas like stuffed special quesadillas with carne asada, shrimp, or pollo asada. And yes, there's something on the menu for everyone, like 17 different burritos. El Zarape Restaurant, open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Your favorite NFL team plays on Imperial Valley's AM 1230, KXO Centro.
2:32 to go in this first half of play. Central leading Imperial 14-0. The Spartans have the ball second and 12 from their own 31. Rodriguez will have Sullivan to his left side. Gets the snap, goes back to pass, sets up in the pocket, looks over to the left side, going to fall incomplete. Kind of slipped out of his hand almost.
No, he threw that down. That was smart.
Throw it down?
Oh, yeah, that was smart, because they were going for setting up the screen off to the left. And Zach had that.
Sullivan then?
Zach had that read all the way, so he threw it down. That was so smart right there.
So third down and 12 coming up at the 31.
Most of the time you don't see a high school player do that. Very smart of that QB.
That is. Yeah. Zach had almost a touchdown last week with a fumble recovery, and then picked up and ran almost out of the one. Couldn't quite get the touchdown on it. Snap back to Rodriguez, rolls out to his right. Going to throw it? Short, way short. Intended receiver is Sergio Garcia, and it'll be a fourth down and 12, and the Spartans will have to punt. Defense come up big again.
Great stop by the Tiger defense. One more time, big stop.
4 of 8 for 15 yards. That's it for Rodriguez tonight.
I go back to, I remember my boss at work was telling me he's on the chain gang and he's listening to the West Hills coach saying how these guys can cover. They're like a blanket. What he was saying. Great job by the defensive backfield.
Minus Rodriguez on the punt. Gets it off. Wow, it's very close, and the Tigers are going to hit the punter. No flag, though.
No flag.
Wow. Surprised with that, George. I'm going to sneak that one in.
He's talking to him.
Joe Villacampos.
He held him up. Yeah, Villacampos held him up.
Yeah, he held him up. He didn't hit him hard. Now, was he blocked into him? I'm not sure because I didn't see whether there was
you're right. You're right, because he was in the air.
Yeah. So the punt will go back, and the Tigers will recover it at the 34-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 at that point. 2:14 to go in the first half, with Central leading it by a score of 14-0.
I'd like to see Zach go up against this. I think he's a safety here. Got a big advantage over the height.
Kiernan at quarterback. Gets the snap, goes back to pass. Looks over to the near side, floats it up into the air. Gio Fiorello is going to get it. And it will be completed at the Spartan 35-yard line, 1st and 10 Imperial. Oh!
He dropped it.
No, but he had possession of it, and he recovered his own fumble.
Yeah, he had possession. He's out by himself. Went to exchange it from one hand to the other, and he dropped it. Able to fall on that, though.
31-yard gain on that, 1st and 10, just a freshman.
Yeah, that would have been awesome to watch him try to outrun Cook. So.
Yep.
I couldn't believe that Cook caught Rashad Robinson earlier.
Well, Rashad's leg.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying.
Completely healthy, I think it might be different, but. An old jump looked like Spartans jumped outside, and Tiernan almost gets it completed to Devin Mays over the middle, but no flag.
Oh, I thought for sure we had a free.
I thought there was movement on one side or offsides on the other, but it was neither. So it'll be a 2nd down and 10 from the 35.
Great anticipation there by the nose. I like the way he jumped and threw his arm over the...
I like the pass right. CJ was thrown in there tight. Just wasn't quite perfect enough to catch. Hurry up offense for Imperial. Back to pass is Tiernan. Sets up in the pocket. Looks deep. Has a receiver. And it bounces off his hands. He had the touchdown. And I think he was looking for the goal line when it bounced off his hands, incomplete at the 10-yard line.
And that was on his hands. That was not a shoulder pen. That was his hands.
That was his hands. Yeah. That was a good pass. CJ put a perfect one.
Perfect. We need to do that one again. He got behind this kid. I think he can outrun him. Dominic got some wheels.
I think he was ready to run before he got the ball.
Look how tight this kid's trying to play him. There's no way.
Yeah, I think he can go by him. He's playing one man-to-man.
Yep.
He's right on, Dominic, on this near side. Zach Gray will move over to the right side and leave that one-on-one situation.
Yep.
Putting the trips right.
And look, Cook is going the other way. We need to do this right now. Oh, now he's backing up.
In motion to the near side, Robinson back to pass with Tiernan, and penalty flag goes down. Was there a timeout called? And there was timeout called by Imperial. 1:19 to go in this first half. It's the Spartans 14 and the Tigers 0.
The Imperial Tiger Football Association was started years ago to help the football team with much-needed equipment and sending the players to special training. Now, through their fundraising efforts from the past and now, the Imperial Tiger Association is proud of what they have accomplished and what they will continue to do in the future. They're always looking for new members. You can call Victor at 760-960-6317. That's 960-6317 if you're interested in helping out. Go Tigers!
This is Jason Jackson. I'm running to return to the El Centro City Council. Are you tired of reading about crime in El Centro? Are you tired of having to deal with an ever-increasing homeless population? Me too. This is my home, and over the last 2 years, I have been frustrated over the lack of leadership in addressing these two issues. I have a proven track record of solving our city's issues, and with your help, I will bring my leadership and experience back to El Centro. I will work to address the safety of our residents and businesses, and I will work with stakeholders in addressing and reducing our homeless population. So on November 8th, vote Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council 2022.
10-19 to go in the first half. Padres lose to the Phillies 4-2 tonight, so the Phillies have a 2-1 advantage in the best of 7 there.
Oh no! And Art called me last night. Last night they got World Series tickets.
Oh man! Let's come around then. Nice pass, Karne. Wheelhouse pass to Rashad Robinson, who catches it. Will get the first down inside the 25-yard line, and then brought down immediately after getting across the 25. About the 24-yard line, gain of 11 yards.
Josel Rodriguez brought him down.
First and 10 Tigers. Minute to go. Clock running. 24-yard line. First and 10 Imperial. We're in the second quarter. Tigers trail by 14. Be big if they could get a score here before the half.
Yes.
Robinson to the right side of Tiernan in the shotgun. Back to pass. Sets up. Throws it over the middle. Has a receiver going to be tipped away. Wow, at the last moment. Yeah, Arturo Estrada comes over with another big tip away, and it stops the clock with 39 seconds to go in the half. Yeah, if he's not there, that's completed. So
I was worried about the pick six.
Yeah, and if he does it, I think it could be a pick.
If he gets it, he's gone.
Yeah, there's nobody there to stop him.
Where's Gio? Look at Gio. He's got at least a foot on this guy.
Second and 10 from the 24 for the Tigers. 39 seconds to go in the first half. Imperial down by 14. Robinson will move to the left side of Tiernan. It's the snap. Back to pass. Sets up. Pass time. Going to throw it to the corner of the end zone. It's going to be picked off.
Oh, my God.
Just floated out there. It's going to be caught by Skylar Cook, who will get the interception at the 12-yard line. That just floated out there way too long. Second interception of the night, turned in by the Spartans, and this one by Skylar Cook. That is his fourth interception of the season, leads the team.
That wasn't even close to the receivers. No. Not even close. This is, never mind, I'm not going to say it. Keep it to myself.
So the Spartans will have it. I'm sure they're just going to run the clock down with 29.8 seconds to go in this first half, leading the Tigers by 14, and Central will get the ball in the second half. Cook got tackled at the Central 11-yard line. I'm sure they're back in the shotgun. They're back to be going for it. Right?
Well, I would do that same right around the end. That we can't stop.
Back to pass, rolling out to his left is Rodriguez.
Great cover.
Open.
Great.
Downfield, going to complete it, though, at the 30-yard line and down to the 31. And making the catch, Gavin Marini with the catch.
Seth Shaw brought him down. Got him with his first tackle of the night.
Stops the clock with 20 seconds to go. They're putting the ball there. He did call timeout at the 30-yard line. It's a 19-yard gain. Update some scores while we have the opportunity. Let's see here. Vincent Memorial 14, Hoveville 0 at the half. Palo Verde 41, Southwest 0 in the second quarter. Ouch.
The running clocks are pretty quick.
And then, as George mentioned earlier, Calipatria lost to Maranatha Christian this afternoon. I'm not seeing the score on that.
47-29? Something like
49-27. We thank Kurt Hoffman for keeping us updated on the scores.
Yes, thank you, Kurt. Gabe, for helping us get on the air. And Gina Carroll for allowing us to do this every year.
College football, Tulsa 27, Temple. Score disappeared. Get it back up here. Tulsa 27, Temple 16 in college football. And that's a final score tonight. Thank you, Lee Elder, for that. First and 10 from the 30-yard line. Back to pass, Rodriguez. Rolls out to his right. Going to air it out. Throws it deep. Tigers are there. And he caught it. Seth went up, and then Sergio Garcia took it out of his hands at the 32-yard line, stopping the clock with 11 seconds to go.
Oh, he lost the shoe even. He did it without his shoe.
Got a flat tire, too, huh? Oh,
he's moving.
He's moving, yeah. That's
moving.
That'll be a penalty flag. Garcia lost his shoe, went back to get it at about the 45-yard line, and was trying to run to the line of scrimmage. Can't do that, so he had to get a penalty on that legal procedure. I thought Seth had that interception.
He did. He took it away from Seth.
Was he 20 and 19? 39 yards on that. Just like that. They had a first and 10 at their own 11. Now it's first and 10 at the Tiger 31. And stopping the clock, putting the ball down with 5 seconds to go. So they'll try one play for the end zone.
Well, if they have the penalty, so the clock is stopped. Why not call the play?
Well, the clock has started up, though. They had to do something. I mean, they could have.
No, because they had time. They lined
I
up.
don't know that they. Yeah, I'm not sure that they were completely set to do that. But you're right. They had time because they had the penalty.
Yeah.
Should have had the play ready to go. So final play of the first half. High snap, but bringing it down to Rodriguez. He's going to throw it to the far end zone. There's Tigers there. There's one Spartan. It bounces away, incomplete, and that will be the end of the first half of play.
There was still time on the clock.
Hold on a second. There may have been a second on the clock.
Yeah.
It was the quick pass, and then went down. Clock run. They're going to put some time. There's going to be one more play. They're going to make one more play out of this after all.
I think they're asking for 1 second. They're asking for 1 second.
So one more play. We thought that was the last one. There's going to be one more. So the Tiger Divas has to at least keep it out of the end zone on one more play. 2nd and 10 from the Tiger 31. Rodriguez has Sullivan to his right side. Goes back to pass. That's up. Not a heavy rush.
Jump.
Now he's going to pass it into the end zone. A jump ball. And
he got it.
Caught. That's
22.
Again, another one that could have been tipped away.
22.
Jared Martin's going to come up with a touchdown, and it's 20-0 in favor of Central.
Why not rush? Why not rush somebody? You had all the time in the world.
Rush, but also you don't have to look for an interception. Just tip it away. You don't need to intercept. Just tip it away. We had 3 guys around him, and he was able to get it out, and it looked like our guys were trying to intercept it. Just tip it away. It is what it is. 31-yard touchdown pass. First one of the night for Rodriguez. His 17th on the year, and the Spartans lead 20-0. And Rodriguez will kick the extra point.
Missed it.
And it will go wide left. I think whether he stretches his toe or whether it's partially blocked. But that'll be the end of the first half of play, and it's been all Spartans. The score 20-0, and we'll be back to recap the scoring and an interview at halftime. All coming up in a moment.
Learning a new skill, continuing your education, or returning to school for the first time can be stressful. IVC has the resources to help you succeed by offering programs to eligible students who qualify for tuition assistance, book grants, and additional programs like IVC's Kitchen Pantry, housing program, career services support, and so much more. Let Imperial Valley College help you become a college graduate. Visit imperial.edu/admissions to register today. Imperial Valley College is recognized nationwide as a top 10 community college for college excellence.
Start that day off right with your favorite drink from Brickhouse Coffee, next door to Brickhouse Deli at the Lisa Tucker Center in Imperial. Brickhouse Coffee has so many drinks to choose from. Hot drinks, blended drinks, or cold drinks, including the best tea in the valley with different flavors. Open daily with a convenient drive-thru. And next door, Brickhouse Deli with big, full, fresh flavors. The Valley's premier deli, serving breakfast and lunch. So come visit them both at the Lisa Tucker Center on West Ayton Road in Imperial.
Halftime score: Central Spartans 20, Imperial Tigers 0. Here's how the scoring is recapped. A one-play 4-yard drive coming after an interception that was taken up by Josiel Rodriguez. A 4-yard rush by Charlie Sullivan. Extra point with 3:06 left in the first quarter. Spartans led it 7-0. Then a 5-play 71-yard drive, got by a 52-yard rush for the touchdown by Sullivan on a play where it was like a 3rd down and 2, and he goes 52 yards for the touchdown. The extra point was good, and a 5:08 left in the first half. The Spartans were up by a score of 14-0. And then on the last play of the half, which capped a 4-play 89-yard drive, a 31-yard touchdown pass from Damian Rodriguez to Jared Martin. Extra point no good, halftime score of 20-0. For the Spartans, Damian Rodriguez has completed 7 of 12 passes in the first half for 104 yards. Of that, the 31-yard touchdown pass to Martin. And then there were 4 catches to Gavin Marini for a total of 24 yards. Sergio Garcia had 1 catch for 39 on that last drive. And then there was Arturo Estrada had a 5-yarder, so 104 yards there. All 90 yards by Charlie Sullivan. All 90 yards on 2 of those touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right. And this was after at one point the Tigers had held him to, and 5 carries consecutively had held him to a net of 4 yards. And then he gets a 52-yarder on a 3rd and short, and that helps get a score. So big plays for the Spartans in the first half. For the Tigers, C.J. Tiernan would complete 4 passes in the first half for a total of 47 yards. And of that, one a 31-yarder by Gio Robles, freshman receiver that I think we're going to see big things in the future. Had 1 catch for 31 yards. Zach Gray 1 catch for 8. Richard Robinson 1 for -3. And they get 2. Oh, Lois is leaving. Okay. Lois Tejas usually comes here to watch the games. Said she'd see us here. Now she's going to go back and listen to it at home. So she's taking off here at halftime. For Richard Robinson, though, 2 catches in the game, but just for a total of 9 yards. He has 38 yards rushing on 4 carries. Seth Shaw, 3 carries for 19 yards. And Tiernan, 5 carries for -1, had a 9-yard sack in that. So the Tigers just offensively, let's see, we got 37, 56 yards. Wow. Yeah, and we're less than right at 100 yards, basically, in offense.
Not good. Can't win
doubled up but the big plays, big plays on the end of it.
Yeah,
those things will do it for you. So we got a halftime interview. We've been talking about a guy, and he won't brag about. Well, he might brag about himself. I know, but I'll brag for him, and we'll have that interview coming up in just a moment.
For over 60 years, the Imperial Quarterback Club has supported all sports teams at Imperial High School. The money they raise goes a long way, keeping our kids busy with school activities. Members are parents and community people who care and want to donate their time. If you would like to become a member, call Betty or Larry Zinn at 760-355-1312. That's 760-355-1312. The Quarterback Club wishes the Imperial Tigers a great season. Go Tigers!
Have you been wanting new flooring but putting it off? Don't wait anymore. Derma floor covering has the flooring you want at blowout prices. Yes, I mean blowout prices. Hardwood plank, regularly priced $9.99 a square yard, now $3.99 a square yard, and over 1,100 square feet in stock. Select tiles, regularly priced $5.99 to $6.49 a square foot, now on sale at $1.34 to $1.99 a square foot. Stop by Derma's floor covering today, 220 North J Street in Imperial. Your flooring wishes can come true at Derma's Floor Covering.
Halftime score here in Imperial, the Central Spartans 20 and the Imperial Tigers 0. And I'm happy to have a guy we've been talking about. I think in your senior year, if I remember right, and it's been a long time ago because you're a little bit older than I am. I was saying about George too. But in your senior year, I think you were all league in football, all league in basketball, all league in baseball, and then
I did. I had CIF finals and track and
the Masters.
Yeah,
actually went to the Masters, right? Because we went to Redondo Beach to watch.
Yeah,
you did that all in 1 year.
Mick, that was 43 years ago.
Okay. I didn't want to say the ages, but and we're talking to Kenny Jackson, and I told him they were going to be coming down here. He and his wife Kimberly are coming down here to visit overnight, and I said, you held some records for 34 years. I'm barely 34 years old, and I've had it for 34 years. But you had the receiving 11 touchdowns in your career. That stood for 34 years, broken by Dejon Staten with 21. And then yards per catch, 16.5. That stood for 32 years, and broken by Marcellus Smith.
Well, I didn't realize that they held for that long, but what's really remarkable is that we threw 3 passes a game.
That's what I was going to point out. You weren't a passing team like it's been for a few years for Imperial. They passed a lot.
Exactly. In fact, I connected with a couple of my old high school teammates, which I think the blessing of high school football. Yes, when somebody goes on to someplace else and does great, it's terrific. But, I mean, the camaraderie and the friendships that you form. So I had dinner tonight with Jerry Armstrong and Carlton Smith, who are teammates, classmates, good friends. And we were just reminiscing about how fun it was. And we're probably, the older we get, the better we were mentality. We look back and it's kind of fun just to think about, hey, this field 43 years ago, we had a good time out here.
You bet.
We had a pretty good team. And
you had dinner with Carlton. Marcellus, that's Carlton's dad, right?
Yeah,
so Carlton's son took one of your records. That's kind of cool, though.
He was poking fun at me for that.
Is that right?
Yeah. But that's what friends do. So we had a good time.
Good.
But I was thinking about it. I actually pulled out an old scrapbook that I haven't looked at for years, and we had a bunch of articles, and Jerry and Carlton and Hector Diaz and old class, and our junior year with Greg Beal and Russell Robin and a bunch of those guys, Bruce Hartsock. And we just had a good time. I look back and I go, high school football was a blast. And I can't imagine my life without it. And I went on to IBC, and I was really skinny, okay? In fact, Jerry and I were joking that in order to make varsity in Imperial, when I first moved back down here from Washington State, you had to bench press 200 pounds to make varsity. So they got me in the gym that summer. I mean, Jerry pulls up in my driveway and this rowdy Mustang says, hey, I'm your new best friend. Let's go to the gym, basically. And I'd never really lifted weights. And so I get in the gym, and I'm doing it. I'm getting better, but I'm tall and lean. And it comes time for me to hit that 200 pounds. And so they put me on the machine, not on the free weights, right? There's no way I could do the free weights. And I think there was one coach on one side and Jerry on the other, and they were helping that thing go. They weren't just spotting you. They weren't just spotting. They were making me get over the hump. And I don't think I ever lifted 200 pounds of the bench press ever again. But it was kind of fun. But it was great. I was welcomed in this town. The thing that shocks me tonight is this place is huge. You know, I was commenting to my siblings that there are more players on the football team and cheerleaders there than there were in my entire senior class. So this high school, the band didn't even exist back then.
Exactly. There you go.
And so that was kind of a fun thing to do. But this is a real happening spot, and now I know why they made a TV series called Friday Night Lights, because this is really it now. And we had a good time doing that. You know, our junior year, we didn't do very well. We had a coach that was run out of town pretty quickly. I think he just didn't have a relationship with the players. But two of his assistants took over our senior year, Bob Seaver and Dave Perkins. And they worked us well. And we were really, we gelled as a team. And you had Donald White and Jerry Armstrong at fullback. We ran a wishbone, Ronnie Sampson and Carlton Smith at running back, Hector at quarterback. And we beat people up, and we had a good time. We ran over them, we ran around them, and the few times we throw a pass, I happened to be open, and it was fun.
It was remarkable for me because when we were doing the games, we had our offensive coordinator was looking back on statistics, and I saw those, and I thought, we hardly ever passed back then. For you to have caught 11 touchdown passes, like every time you touched the ball, you scored.
I did keep some notes from back then, and I caught 18 passes my senior year for 11 touchdowns, but it surprised everybody. And I had two called back against Calipatria, and they were both in the 70-yard range. And but one was a holding penalty, and then to this day I dispute the other one. They said offensive pass interference, and I think I just jumped over the guy. And but they called both of those back, and then. I think against Coachella on a quick slant, it was just me in the end zone and a free safety coming full speed the other direction, and all he could grab was my face mask. And so, you know, my head went backwards, my feet went forwards, and that was the end of that one. But otherwise, we might have even had a few more. But it was just fun, and I look back on it, but it was just part of the best part of my life. And then at IVC, now keep in mind, I was really skinny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm tall, I'm fast, I could jump, but I was skinny. I make some of these guys look really, really fat. And so at IVC, I was having a good year, and several colleges said, put on 20 pounds and we'll hold a position for you. And about 5-6 games in at a crazy practice, we had a muddy field, and it was crazy, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I get stuck in the mud, and somebody takes my knee out, and I know who it is, and he's a prominent farmer in town.
I think I know who it is.
And I won't say his name because he's actually a great guy, and he did not do it on purpose, but blew out every ligament in my left knee, and there went my athletic career, and I said, okay, better get an education and do something else with my life. But I think that, you know, one of the best things that these kids can be cautioned about is that go have fun. You know, this is a lot of fun. Nothing quite matches Friday night football.
Right.
I wonder if anybody's ever calculated how many fans are in the stands every Friday night for high school football across the country.
Across the country, if you add it up. Oh, yeah.
It would be insane. And so it's really fun, and this is a great atmosphere, and these kids are having a good time, except Imperial's not having such a good time tonight.
Big plays hurt them in the first half, and, you know, that really, really messed up on the end.
Yeah, those were
extra plays.
Those jump balls were the kinds of things I actually had fun with.
You could, I mean, you were a great basketball player, and you could get up high on that, too. And I just remember when you talk about your knee, and I was dating your sister at the time.
Oh.
I ended up marrying her.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I did, I know.
You married into our family? What were you thinking?
I don't know. It was one of those mental lapse for a moment.
Well,
but I remember when you
elevated us, by the way. You helped us in our class department.
Your dad was Leroy Jackson, your mom Mary, and so I was always hanging over at the house with you, and when your sister Peggy was up at Viola going to college at the time. But I remember you calling me, or somebody had told me, hey, Kenny got his knee messed up at practice. I remember going over your house, and I've never seen a knee that big. Oh, my word, it's like a basketball.
So they hauled me up to the Sharps in San Diego, and Robert Kern, I think, was my surgeon. And this is before the MRIs and everything else. And he comes in and looks at my knee, and he says, you're going to, tonight, call your folks. It was Halloween night. And so I missed Halloween, but I couldn't have done anything anyway. And so the following morning, the nurse comes in. She shaves my legs. She gets me something loopy. They take me into the surgery, and it's cold. You're on a stainless steel table and freezing my tail end off. And you sit up and they do this spinal, and they numb your whole lower body. So I'm loopy and my whole lower body is numb, but I'm not out. And Dr. Kern comes in, And he lifts my leg, and it's the first time he can actually move it. And all I heard before I fell asleep was my surgeon going, "Oh, crud."
That word, yeah.
Different word, but "oh, crud."
Right.
And so much so that in recovery, he came in to apologize because, that wasn't very professional of me. Mm-hmm. But I want you to know that wasn't a football injury. That was a car wreck. Not too many people blow their MCL, their ACL, and their PCL all at one time.
I've never seen one as big as yours was. That was pretty bad.
It was. The trainer, yeah.
But when that happened, though,
yeah.
You ended up starting a new career because you started calling IVC football games.
Yeah, I ended up in a radio booth with this guy named Mickey Dale, who to this day, I think he's just got an incredible talent, and he's got this incredible voice for radio. But yeah, we were. So what happened is I started writing for the IVC newspaper, and I took over as editor my sophomore year out there at IVC, and we were calling IVC football games. We also did a few Little League games and a few others on the radio. I am glad there are no tapes on that because I'm 19, 20 years old. Man, what am I doing at a radio booth calling a football game?
If we find a reel-to-reel, I still have some.
Oh,
but I haven't listened to him in all those years.
No, we're not doing anything with that.
It was a lot of fun back then.
We did.
I'm sure glad you came up to talk with us tonight.
Absolutely, Mickey. You and George have done a great job here for years, and I keep it up, man. It's just been wonderful. I appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you. You bet.
All right. Hey, you guys take care.
All right, thanks. Kenny Jackson, who held a couple of records in receiving here at Imperial that lasted for 34 years before finally being broken just a handful of years ago by Dejon Staten for receiving touchdowns of 11 touchdowns and then 16.5 yards per catch. It stood for 32 years and broken by Marcellus Smith, who Kenny had dinner with his dad Carlton tonight because they played football here in Imperial. So
that is awesome.
Yeah,
that was so awesome right there.
And there's moments in your life you remember where you were when it happened. When they announced John Lennon, there's Jerry Lee Armstrong here.
Jerry, how are you, brother?
When they announced that he had died, Monday Night Football, I was over watching the game with Kenny. His knee was all busted up and was sitting there, and I think someone from the church, one of the ladies from church, bought him coloring books and colors, and he and I were coloring, watching the football game when that thing came on, when they colored Cosell announced it.
I know he called games at IBC.
Yeah, he called IBC football games with us. In fact, we were at a game in Antelope Valley, and they delayed the start of the game for 15 minutes because the space shuttle was going to come land, and everybody wanted to watch it. So from the booth up there, we got a bird's-eye view of the space shuttle landing at Edwards Air Force Base up there. So, and then you talk about cold. We went to do a game for Mount San Jacinto up in Hemet, and Peggy was up there. We were married at that time, and she brought coffee up to us. And again, it's like, could they have gotten it hot? Because this is really cold. It was so cold. The wind started blowing in Hemet, and oh my word, it was freezing. Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and Kenny's just been like a brother to me. I love him dearly, and his wife Kimberly, love them both to death. So glad he could come down and talk to us.
Yeah, that was so great interview.
I told him Ball just kicked through the end zone on the kickoff. I told him I teased him when he came up. When I first saw him before the game, I said, "I'll give you about 25, 30 minutes to talk." And he said, "What?" I go, "I'm just kidding. It won't be that long." But I said, "It'll go by fast. I'll tell you."
Oh yeah.
It was get to start talking about old times, and the time will go by quickly. So, yeah. But what great, and it was Kenny that helped introduce me to Peggy.
Really?
Yeah, because a few of us would go back and help scrimmage the varsity team when he was playing. So Gary and I went to a game at Centro, that Elks tournament they used to have. It was between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
And went, and we're watching the game, and I knew his dad, but I didn't know he had any sisters my age. And I happened to look up and was like, "Well, who's this blonde girl up there?" Asked Mom and Dad. It was Peggy, and 15 months later we're married. And we've been together for 41 years. The Spartans have the ball 1st and 10. The ball was kicked through the end zone. Another touchback for Ethan. And it's going to be handed off to Charlie Sullivan on the right side. He's got room to run. Finally going to be brought down at the 35-yard line after a gain of 15. And it will be a 1st and 10 for Central.
What a great job by Devin Messi. See that?
He sure came up in second, didn't he?
Yeah, fighting off the blocker. And then he brought him down. I couldn't believe that. Open field tackle like that.
A penalty flag holding by Central. We'll bring that one back.
Oh, sure is.
That touchback by Ethan, that is his 20th.
Oh, 20. I was going to say 19, but
Yeah.
20.
You know, I was thinking, I wonder what that stands like nationwide. There's one kicker, I think, in Michigan that has 78 kick touchbacks. They score a ton of points. So, like, every time he kicks off, you know, just,
That's got to be 8 man.
Can you imagine that?
That many.
That's crazy. So the penalty flag will bring the ball back to about the 7. The first and long from the 7.
Yeah, he broke that outside. Out ran Zach.
Damian Rodriguez at quarterback. Has Sullivan to his right. High snap, going to bring it down. Dumps it off short to Sullivan. Sullivan tries to make a couple of moves. He's going to be brought down after he gets to about the 11-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4.
Although Pablo Moreno brought him down. It looked like J.J. Jimenez had him for a loss. All of a sudden I've seen him running again.
There'll be a second down after the gain of 4. And they'll need to get out to the 30-yard line, so about 19 yards to go for the first down. Yeah, Kenny was quite young when Alan Folks was pitching for Cal Poly in the World Series for Division II, and so I grabbed him and said, hey, let's go watch him. So we drove up to Riverside to watch Alan pitch in the World Series up there. So, he's, like I said, he's like a brother to me. Back to pass, going to throw it deep, has a receiver. Oh, and he makes a great catch, but is tackled and upended by Seth Shaw, but he holds on to a great catch. And again, we don't know who number 5 is. There's no name on him. And I'm surprised that he's not on the roster because he's been an integral part of the game.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. Wow, he was bent backwards on that, but how he caught the ball was amazing. I'm not sure there'd be a penalty on what he...
Well, that's James. James called that. I think he said he's out. Oh, David's going after him.
They're still out there talking it over, the referees, at the 32-yard line. The catch would be good for the first down. The penalty came after the play. I'm thinking it's going to go against Imperial on the tackle, but I didn't see where the tackle was anything illegal. The receiver jumps way up in the air, and Seth got him at the bottom part of his back.
Yeah,
I think
he said he hit him with the helmet.
I don't think so. The helmet was down low.
No, it was on the side. It was on our side.
Right. And he was up in the air. But they're calling a penalty against the Tigers. It's going to be a personal foul against Imperial. I'm not even sure what you would call on that. You can't say it's a defensive receiver, but they're going to call personal foul against Imperial. Wow. Wow.
Well, some James,
I don't know about that at all. Went to the 32-yard line. And then the penalty now against Imperial. It went for 21 yards, by the way. And then the penalty flag will put the ball out to the 47-yard line. 1st and 10. Rodriguez gets the snap, rolls out to his right. Looks downfield, passes it, has a receiver, and out throws Sergio Garcia, the intended receiver. And the ball incomplete. It'll be 2nd down now.
It looked like Garcia turned to the inside. He threw the outside shoulder.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
At first I thought it was leading with the helmet, but
yeah, but it wasn't. Well,
so then what's the penalty if it's not that?
Like I said, all it maybe is a defenseless.
But he's in the air.
Receiver, but he's in the air. What do you do? You can't just let him go.
You wait till he comes down again.
Right. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that one at all. I'd like to hear a clarification on that at some point. Sullivan going to get the handoff up the middle. Gets hit at the line of scrimmage and holding on, but realizes JJ keeping him at the 47-yard line.
Great job. He wanted to take his shoes away.
A gain of a yard on the play. And it will be a 3rd down now and 9 from the 48-yard line. Sullivan's first carry of the second half has 91 yards and 12 carries, 52 of that on a touchdown run.
Trips right for the Spartans. single number 5, wherever he is by himself over here.
Yeah, I'm just not sure who it is, but like I said, he's made some big plays in the game.
The band we can give him some.
Another play game this time against Centro, and they'll pull that one back. So it seems to be the plays on both sides a long time to get things going.
Yeah.
For both.
But you know what we're doing? CJ usually goes to the sideline, gets a play, goes into the huddle, and now everybody's reading whatever the notes are on their screen.
It kind of defeats the purpose of a no huddle offense.
It's taking forever. It's taking forever for them to get those.
Seeing Roderick Robinson walking away from us now. And like I said, go onto YouTube, just type in Roderick Robinson of Lincoln High School. That's Rashard's older brother, and he's walking down in front of us now. Just an amazing athlete.
Yeah, he was supposed to stay here and play for Central. Ended up going to Lincoln.
Back to pass. They're looking to complete it to Marini at the Tiger 40-yard line. He'll be brought down to the 37. He just got up and he was open.
That's it. Pretty pass. Got in between the linebackers and the defensive back.
14 yards for number 14 on that one.
See if we got any updates here. Oh, we got James Emmett on, listening in from Raleigh. One of my co-workers. Played against Larry Stevens back in way before our time, like in 73, I think it was.
Boy, Larry's fast. That triple option pitch out, man. Back to pass Rodriguez. Pump fake to the right. Going to go over the middle. Has a receiver open. And
again.
Yep, another penalty. The ball was caught by Marini, and a good catch, then was upended by Shaw inside the 10-yard line. Another penalty flag goes down on that.
So why didn't that rep call it if he's right next to him?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This guy's throwing it all the way across the field. No, I think he's going to talk about it. He's coming over here. He said, "No, that's a good play." He hit him with the forearms.
Ball is down at the 8-yard line of the Tigers. So it's going to be a 30-yarder to Marini. A couple of catches in the second half for 44 yards on this drive. And they do call off, but they're calling off the flag. Head coach David Shaw, the Tigers, is out talking to J.J. Jackson out there. Boy, to be a fly on the wall there.
I don't know.
But a great pass by Rodriguez and a terrific catch by Marini to get up in the air, get up in it, and hold on to the ball.
Yeah, I think somebody blew up coverage there because he was all by himself and Seth came all the way across the field.
Flag is picked up. First and goal, Central at the Tiger 8.
Yeah, I wish I knew what he was seeing because that's 2 forearms, what I see. Now, whether it's because he's in the air, I don't know.
Spartans will go with the direct snap again to Charlie Sullivan. Gets the snap, runs up the middle, and pushes over to the left side, follows his blockers, and will walk in for the touchdown. So Sullivan with a second touchdown of the night pushes the Spartan lead to 26-0. That drive that made it look too easy.
No, that one was too easy. He even stopped running. It's not a good time to fall apart. We still got to work for the playoffs.
99 yards on 13 carries, 3 touchdowns tonight for Charlie Sullivan.
Not to get for the extra point.
Rodriguez on the extra point. Ball is down, kick is up. It's high and true. And with 8:14 to go in the third quarter of play, it's now the Spartans 27 and the Tigers 0.
Wake up with Broken Yolk Café, open daily at 7 a.m., serving your favorite breakfast. From omelets, pancakes, eggs Benedict, waffles, and yes, Mexican breakfast too. Broken Yolk Café serves lunch till 2 p.m. From sandwiches, salads, and yes, of course, the all-American cheeseburger. Broken Yolk Café thanks you for voting us the best breakfast in town. Once again, you can order online at Broken Yolk Café El Centro or call 760-352-9655.
7 plays, 80 yards on the drive for the Spartans. And it takes up 3 minutes and 46 seconds off the clock. Capped by the 8-yard rushing touchdown by Charlie Sullivan. His 3rd of the night and his 14th of the season. The extra point by Milas Rodriguez, 27-0 Central. So Central will be kicking off. Deep to receive for the Tigers. Rashard Robinson on the far side. Devin Mesa on the near side. And getting a football now to kick from the Central sideline. And hear the cadence of the band's drum corps over on the far side by Central. He's a great Spartan band there. So Rodriguez kicking off deep to Robinson or Meza. And actually the kicker is going to be Cesar Becerra kicks off this time. Richard's going to get it from the 7-yard line. Comes to the outside at the 20, and it gets stacked up and brought down at the 25, and that's where the Tigers will have the ball first and 10 at their own 25-yard line. With 8:06 to go in third quarter play, trailing 27-0.
And a quick update here. Got Vincent over Hopefield in the fourth, 14-6.
Wow, good ball game.
Palo Verde 48, Southwest nothing in the third.
Tigers will be facing Southwest in El Centro next Friday night. I can hear the race cars. Can you
go, yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so, out at the fairgrounds. Sprint cars and
it reminded me about that.
Lightning sprints. I'll be announcing those tomorrow night.
That's awesome. You are so lucky. You get to travel with that circuit profile.
I've had a fortunate life, really have. Turn in quarterback, gets the snap, goes back to pass. Bump fake. Now goes back to his right
here.
And there's nothing there. He's going to throw the ball away wisely, but then gets just hammered as soon as he throws the ball. Defensively, Michael Fisher in on the play for the Spartans. And it'll be a second down and 10.
No, right now, Mick.
Mm-hmm.
Be a good time to bring in Robles. Change things up a little bit.
I agree. Why not?
Yeah, we're not doing anything. Things. Yeah, we're just flat right now. Nothing's working. Might as well air it out.
Like you said, change things up. Do something different.
Yeah.
Sure can't hurt.
And he came from Central.
Second down and 10 from the 25 for the Tigers. Turning a quarterback. Hands it off up the middle to Shaw, and Shaw's going to get a little bit of yardage, a couple of yards, and it'll be a third down and 8 from the 27. Set for just 21 yards on 4 carries tonight. The Tigers just haven't, again,
there's nothing.
produced any offense. 58 yards rush.
Central's done a great job scouting the Tigers.
Yeah, they really have.
Great job. Everything that they've done, they've covered it.
Yeah.
Remember when Rashad went in motion? They handed the ball off to at least three defenders waiting for him.
No, they have. They scouted the Tigers well. Shaw stays in the backfield with Tiernan. Man in motion is Perez.
We jumped on the far side.
The 5-yard penalty will make it a third down now and 13 and bring it back to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, false start. Devin Mess on the far end. And I think Ollie confused him. He had it running right at him. Got too excited.
So a third down now and make it 13 from the Tiger 22-yard line. Just with the way that you look at the Spartans defense and the way they've got everybody set, it's like they have extra guys out there.
Yeah.
And they don't. They're just set up.
2 safeties.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we're going to do. That's all we can do now is pass.
Turner will have Shaw to his left side in the shotgun. Gets the snap. Sets up. Goes out to the far side. Going to complete it to Perez or to Mesa. And he'll be brought down.
Oh, it was Perez. It was
Perez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mesa was
first time.
Went deep.
And it's going to be good for only, might have got the 2 yards back. Yeah, and a timeout on the field.
Yeah,
timeout on the field. 6:36 to go in this third quarter play. It's the Spartans 27, the Tigers 0.
Hi, this is Jason Jackson, owner of Southwest Security. I've been providing private security locally for more than 20 years and have owned Southwest Security for more than 6.5 years. I'm proud to announce that we have over 250 employees working here in Imperial and Coachella Valley. Last year, I opened Southwest Postal, offering you 24-hour access 365 days a year. P.O. Box service to you. Also located at Southwest Security at the corner of 4th and Highland in El Centro. If you're in the need for security services, please call us at Southwest Security at 760-970-4500. That's 970-4500.
Bo and his team of employees at Stan's Auto Body are constantly striving on giving you 100% satisfaction on getting your vehicle repaired and fixed right. Stan's Auto Body is grateful for the support they hear from the job they're doing and being highly rated with CarWise.com. Yes, accidents are disturbing, and Stan's Auto Body is here for you to ease the pain and fix your vehicle as fast as possible. Stop by at 1880 West Euclid Avenue in El Centro.
Gut check time for the Tigers right now, trailing 27-0, setting up for a punt. Ethan Gonzalez, number 2 punter in the country, kicking for the Tigers. Averages over 51 yards a punt. It's a good snap back. We'll get the ball off. It's going to be a good punt. Caught at the 40-yard line of the Spartans. Makes a couple of moves to get around a Tiger. Tries to turn the corner on the near side. And be tackled out of bounds at the 47. Arturo Estrada on the return. And the Spartans will have the ball 1st and 10. Good field position at their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, Pablo Moreno was there. He was able to avoid him, and then Joel Campos pushed him out of bounds. Hey, Paula Evans, I'm just reading the Facebook. Imperial California memory.
Yeah, good deal.
Once a Tiger, always a Tiger.
That's what I had to say. That's exactly right. She was saying that is it in Idaho that she was saying that the Tigers back there, and she wants to pick up Imperial, even though it's in Idaho now. So I had to put on there, once a Tiger, always a Tiger. 1st and 10 Spartans. They have the ball at their own 47-yard line, leading the Tigers 27-0. Damian Rodriguez at quarterback as Charlie Sullivan to his right goes back to pass. Sets up. Going to throw it deep. Airs it out and intercepted. Seth Shaw will come in to scoop up the interception at the 17-yard line, and the Tigers will have the ball right back for Seth. That is his 3rd interception of the season.
Great job. Laid out. Picked it up right off the ground.
That wasn't an easy one.
No, that was
not at all. That's the first turnover by the Spartans tonight.
Great hand. He's got great hands. I wish he played baseball.
We can't get him to play baseball.
He just never cared for baseball.
Really? Man, baseball's so much fun.
Oh, at center field, he had a cannon on him.
Well, and
he just didn't like it.
He's so rangy, too, for center field.
That's why I've mentioned a couple of times. I wish they would send him in like a sweep and then throw a pass out of it. Because he can throw it.
Turner will stay in a quarterback. Shaw will stay in and be at the running back position. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. They get the football back. Hand off shot the middle. Lexington tackles the line of scrimmage, still on his feet. Now we'll get out to near the 25-yard line, but it's the 24. That'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down.
Good job by number 6 for the Spartans to bring him down. See, Zarian Robinson. I just seen Rashad Robinson over here on the sideline. Not looking real.
No. He was playing him out to you that his leg is heavily taped up, and he can hardly move on that left leg, and he took his helmet off now. Very upset that he's not being able to participate out in this game and contribute to the team. And stalks back over toward the 50-yard line, and you just feel sorry for the young man. Missed 2 games already. Hand up the middle to Shaw, and it looks like Seth's going to get the first down.
Real close.
Very close. Lady will get the first down.
Yep, they gave it to him.
So 1st and 10 Tigers. And the ball at the 26-yard line on that gain of 2.
Sure wish I could go out and find Jerry Field and Pat Bristol.
Yeah, it would have been nice to talk to him. Like
yeah,
talking about earlier, the 1972 team that they were on was just a fantastic team and really set the plate up and the table for the 73 team to win the CIM championship.
I like what Kenny. He remembered the 200 pounds. You have to play football in Imperial.
That's the way it was back then. You're right. Tiernan's going to run it. He gets out to about the 35, 40-yard line. Got to be brought down to the 43. First time we've seen DJ get a good run this year. This one goes 17 yards on a first down for Imperial.
Jared Martin did a good job of catching CJ from behind to bring him down. He was gone. I thought he was gone. I didn't think anybody could catch him.
That's the CJ we saw last year, though, in running the option.
Not this year. We don't have that.
We just haven't seen that happen this year.
I missed that.
Smoke coming from some hamburgers. I'm starting to get hungry. And smoke starting to come around. It kind of reminds me of that game at Torrey Pines.
Yeah.
Santa Fe Christian of a fog.
Right up.
We came rolling in.
That was awesome. Couldn't even see the ball.
Yeah, you couldn't. Back to pass to Tiernan. Sets up in the pocket. Now getting flushed out. Rolls out to his right. Going to throw it away. Actually tried to get to a receiver, but got tripped up. And I think their feet got tripped up.
Yeah.
At the 45-yard line. Dominic Suarez was the intended receiver. And it'll be a second down and 10 from the 43.
Shot still up. He's all over James over there. Davis all over James Bentley right now.
The Tigers have 3 wide receivers going to the left side of the line. And it's Robles, Zach Ray, and Devin Meza. And Dominic Suarez by his lonesome split out to the right side. Shaw in the backfield with Tiernan. Now Shaw will be moved over to the left side. In the shotgun, back to pass to CJ. Sets up in the pocket, has to flush out, has a lot of rush behind him, and he's just going to run out of bounds. It would get a loss of a yard on the play. Really wasn't there, and you look at the receivers, they're all covered. Covered.
Yeah, this kid here is doing a great job. Number 5, great job on Dominic. Oh, it's 6.
It's a yard loss on it. Be a 3rd and 11 back at the 42.
A lot of hand fighting going on right here. He's good at it.
Yeah, and I thought with Dominic's speed, I wouldn't be playing him that close to the line, but yet he's doing a great job of covering him.
They cannot get around him. They get loose.
So Zarian Robinson is that defender we're talking about. And he will cover Ollie Perez to the right side as Meza goes in motion. Could be a jet sweep coming to the near side, and Meza gets hammered. Man, he got hit hard. That's the line of scrimmage he pulled up, and it's against Jardy Sullivan. He's a great athlete, 6'1" and 195, but plays bigger than that. And Meza gets tackled, and a penalty flag will go down, and it's going to go on the sideline for the Tigers coaching staff, I believe. I think that's going to go on Imperial, and now the second one is going to go. So they're going to get back-to-back. That's going to be 30 yards worth of penalties. Play that just went nowhere. Man, Sullivan, that was a hit.
No, it was.
That was just a great, clean, hard hit.
I don't know what they're complaining with.
I don't either. I really don't. There was no gain on the jet sweep. I've already seen the Tigers use that too much this year. And Devin does have good speed, but man, Sullivan just came blasting in there.
Found a gap and hit it. And hit him.
He is a good athlete. We've seen him rushing, obviously. He's done such a good job there, but and thought about him in the defensive backfield of coming up and making a stop like that. And when you think that he's carried the ball for every one of the Spartan plays, so he's carried the ball 13 times for 99 yards, and he has 1 catch for 4 yards, and then he's played the full game defensively, and he hasn't slowed down a beat. They're going to take him off the field right now, though. He'll go to the sideline because the punt team is in. Unsportsmanlike conduct going to go against the Tigers, and a second unsportsmanlike against the Tigers. So I'm thinking they're going to march 30 yards over top here. Yeah, I was mentioning Richard looking and limping walking on the tartan surface of the track here. Missing 2 games from an injury. He played a really good game at Calexico. Got injured late in it. Missed the next 2 games. Came out tonight. Had some good hard runs. And then the injury looks like it's coming again. He's limping on that same left leg.
Yeah.
And then you wonder if he's going to be able to play next week or
the playoffs.
Right? Or the playoffs. We will be at Southwest next Friday night. That'll be the Johnny Romero Helmet Game, the 13th annual. And that'll be next Friday night. And then the Tigers will be in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure. I doubt they're going to drop too much. I mean, they're number 6 right now, but they're going against a division team that's number 5. And so they'll go into the playoffs. We're not sure where that will be. I think if they stay in the top 8, they'll get a home game.
They should get, yeah.
Right. So the first week, that would be in 2 weeks from tonight.
8 against 9.
So Ethan Gonzalez back to punt. It goes off a little bit off the side of his foot, but takes a Tiger bounce. Will be picked up at the 47-yard line of the Spartans. And then some hard hitting out there, but he'll get back to the 49-yard line of Imperial, and that's where the Spartans will take over position. Great field position of the Tiger 49.
Yeah, Ethan Reese put a hit on him. He's trying to hurt him. Oh, that was a flag, nothing. Okay.
So first and 10 Central. They're going to put the ball right at the 50-yard line, actually. I thought it got to the 49 of Imperial, but they're going to move it back to the 50. 3:20 to go in the first quarter. Central 27, Imperial 0. Direct snap will be coming to Sullivan, and he'll get it over the right side. Find some room to run. We'll get across the 45-yard line to the Tiger 42 before being brought down. Another big gain of 8 yards, second down and 2.
That Shaw brought him down.
We don't want to have our safeties getting tackled.
And he ran right over him. Seth held on.
107 yards rushing for Charlie Sullivan tonight on 14 carries, 3 touchdowns.
I don't know if you noticed that, Mick. He had 3 blockers still ahead of him after he was tackled. Yeah. They're blowing that line out.
They'll go direct snap again, and the Tigers will jump off sides, give them the first down. That'll be a first and 10 for Central, now putting at the Tiger 37.
Max Alvarez jumped on that right side of the Tiger defense.
So first and 10 Central for 37. Gavin Robles is running into the lineup.
Yeah.
Defense. I don't know if we've seen that, have we?
No. Had no idea he played the defensive side.
Victor Valenzuela.
Victor came out.
For the Tigers. He'll be at a cornerback position on the near side.
Angel Barone. That's the name we hadn't called tonight.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah. So Sullivan will take a direct snap again. Gets the handoff. Or gets the pitch back. And it goes around the left side this time. Turns the Jets on. We'll get inside the 30-yard line to about the 24, 23-yard line before being brought down. And that'll be good for 14 yards and a first down. Boy, just when he turns the corner, like I said, he runs downhill in a hurry.
He gets her quick. He didn't like Seth coming at him, though. Seth takes out his legs down low.
So first and 10 Central, the Tiger 23, minute 57 to go in the third quarter. Central up 27-0. Spartans hoping for a victory tonight to set them up for an IVL showdown with Brawley during the Bell game next week. And they'll try to get the bell back from Brawley. Sullivan to the right side this time. Penalty flag goes down to the line of scrimmage. Tigers are going to get this one bottled up. And it will be a penalty holding, I'm thinking. Jonathan might look at it. Yeah.
Good call, Jonathan.
Yeah, good job. Good job on that one, Jonathan. And it is holding call against Central.
And that was Angel Barone that almost got him in the back.
Okay.
It was.
We have mentioned him.
So I wonder if they were working on something on Victor. That's why he went in. Robles went in. Okay.
So the penalty will bring the ball back to the Tiger 38-yard line and make it a second down and 25. Rodriguez back into the lineup. And who do we have running back? 30-something, yeah. 35. Back to pass Rodriguez. Sets up. No pressure. Throws it. Going to complete it. Again, it's the number 5, and we don't know who that player is. Breaks some tackles. We'll get all the way down inside the 20-yard line to about the 15 before being brought down.
Angel Barone brought him down and then, or stood him up.
It's going to be a 23-yard gain.
Aiden Shields slammed him out.
Just a little slant over the middle. Be a second down in about 3.
In about 40 seconds. That's in the third quarter. And the clock is running. That's Nico there, directing traffic. Nico Jimenez.
Rodriguez at quarterback. Again, goes back to pass. Sets up. Going to pass it over the middle. Has a receiver in and out. Going to be tipped by Seth Shaw. And I'm glad he did tip because that might have been a touchdown.
Yeah. And he still almost made the reception.
Right.
I thought Seth had that picked.
So third down into it to 15. They get 3rd and 3 to 16. The back one. Stops the clock with 19.8 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Central led 27-0. Tigers just not able to muster any offense again tonight.
No.
Direct snap, Sullivan over the right side. He's going to get sacked up, but his extra effort and push will get him close to the first down. We'll see where they're going to mark it at, but he's very near the first down. Should be at about the 8 or 9 yard line. You're going to mark it.
Yeah, sure.
Mark it at the 9. It'll be just short. That'll be the end of the third quarter play. So it's 3 quarters down here in Imperial. The score: the Central Spartans 27, the Imperial Tigers 0.
El Zarape restaurant in Imperial is 100% authentic Mexican cuisine. Their extensive menu features traditional handmade Mexican dishes with nothing but fresh ingredients. El Zarape restaurant has taken it over the top with their creative ideas like stuffed special quesadillas with carne asada, shrimp, or pollo asada. And yes, there's something on the menu for everyone, like 17 different burritos. El Zarape restaurant, open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Bo and his team of employees at Dan's Auto Body are constantly striving on giving you 100% satisfaction on getting your vehicle repaired and fixed right. Dan's Auto Body is grateful for the support they hear from the job they're doing and being highly rated with CarWise.com. Yes, accidents are disturbing, and Dan's Auto Body is here for you to ease the pain and fix your vehicle as fast as possible. Stop by at 1880 West Euclid Avenue in El Centro.
Beginning the fourth quarter of play, Central with a 4th down and 1 from the Tiger 14 yard line. And let's see if we can update some other scores for you. Vincent 14, Hoville 6 in the fourth quarter. Oliverty 48, Southwest 0 in the third quarter in that one. We mentioned again, Brawley won last night 42-8 over Calexico. And the Tigers will be at Southwest next Friday night, unless something changes. I don't wonder if you think it gets changed to a Thursday or not. Is there a chance of that, or I have any idea?
I have no idea how.
I mean, with Brawley playing on a Thursday night, I'm thinking maybe that, because I know they're going to keep the Dell game on Friday. That's for sure. Now, they may move the Holville-Calipatria game to Thursday. Sometimes they do that Axe game, on a Thursday.
Well, they did that one because of the Bell game.
Right.
Yes, they're right. When David was in Calipat, they did.
Hard to go forward on the 4th and 1. The Tiger 14. Sullivan will take the direct snap. Gets the snap. Goes right up the middle, has a gap. He's got the first down and then some. Breaks some tackles to get inside the 10 to the 9 yard line, and it's 1st and goal. Gain of 5.
Victor Valenzuela brought him down, but not until after he had gotten the first down. What do we got going here?
128 yards on 17 carries for Sullivan. Man, there was a big hole there between the guard and tackle on the left side of the line that time. And timeout on the field. 11:34 to go in the ball game. The Central 27, Imperial 0.
The Imperial Tiger Football Association was started years ago to help the football team with much-needed equipment and sending the players to special training. Now, through their fundraising efforts from the past and now, the Imperial Tiger Association is proud of what they have accomplished and what they will continue to do in the future. They're always looking for new members. You can call Victor at 760-960-6317. That's 960-6317 if you're interested in helping out. Go Tigers!
This is Jason Jackson, and I'm running to return to the El Centro City Council. Are you tired of reading about crime in El Centro? Are you tired of having to deal with an ever-increasing homeless population? Me too. This is my home, and over the last 2 years, I have been frustrated over the lack of leadership in addressing these two issues. I have a proven track record of solving our city's issues, and with your help, I will bring my leadership and experience back to El Centro. I will work to address the safety of our residents and businesses, and I will work with stakeholders in addressing and reducing our homeless population. So on November 8th, vote Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council 2022.
1st and goal Spartans from the Tiger 9 yard line. going to the north side of the stadium here in Imperial.
You know, I just spot Jared Nixon's dad here, so maybe he's here just not with his jersey.
Okay. Sullivan is in the lineup, and now Rodriguez comes back in at quarterback. Marini goes in motion to the far side, back to pass Rodriguez. Going to throw a little flare into the corner of the end zone and tipped away. Good job.
Good job, man.
Their own, isn't it?
Yeah, it is their own.
Yeah, good job. Now, that's the way to do it. Just tip it away. You don't need to intercept or anything. Just tip it away. So it goes incomplete, intended for Sergio Garcia. Be a second down and goal.
Garcia did a good job of putting his body against him. Back, get between, pushed it. Angel back. Angel was just able to out-jump him.
He is just a sophomore. Yeah. And you watch Garcia for Centro. And, I mean, he was amazing last year. And then you look at him again this year and go, wow, kid's got some talent. Rodriguez at quarterback. In the shotgun. Goes back to pass. Low snap. Throws it quickly. Incomplete. For Garcia thrown behind him. I think the snap kind of threw everything off. The snap was a little bit low, and it took time for Rodriguez to get it up and go. Third down and goal from the 9. 3 incompletions in a row for Rodriguez after he completed 6 in a row. So they get 7 in a row.
It looks like Rodriguez went off, so they're going to go Sullivan again.
Third and goal. Give him 2 shots. Has to go for a field goal.
No,
he tries to snap into Sullivan. He just takes a snap, tucks it, runs to the left. Tigers are going to come up and put a stop to it. Good job coming up to make the stop for Imperial.
Victor Valenzuela, number 10.
Good job.
Great open field tackle.
Yeah, that perhaps saved a touchdown right there.
Victor probably, like 140 pounds?
Stretched that out. Only got a yard out of it. So it'll be a 4th down and goal from the 8.
Kicker's coming in.
129 yards rushing and 18 carries unofficially for Charlie Sullivan, and 3 of the 4 touchdowns tonight by the Spartans.
Rodriguez came back in, unless he's a holder.
Nope.
No,
they're going to go for it.
They're going for it.
Yep. On a 4th and goal from the 8, the Spartans will go for it. And Sullivan will be the right side of Rodriguez at quarterback in the shotgun. Goes back to pass. Sets up. Over the middle, completes to Marini, and the Tigers stop him, and yes, he will not make it. Stops him inside the 5-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will take over possession. So the Tiger defense bends, but it doesn't break, and Imperial will take over possession deep in their territory.
Good stop by the Tiger defense.
Hey, Rodriguez throws a tight spiral, doesn't he? Wow.
Now you see why he's got so many yards for the year.
Yeah.
The receiver went towards the sideline, then he broke right back in. Right behind the linebackers. And good job by the Tigers to close that up.
197 yards passing on the night for Rodriguez. Tigers of the football, 1st and 10 at their own 5 with 10:20 to go.
Looks like CJ's going under center.
First time we've seen Turner go under center tonight. Hands it off to Shaw, the left guard. Gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage as forward momentum will get him about 3 yards. 2nd down and 7 from the 8.
Under center again. He's ready to go already. Oh no, he's still over here on the sideline.
You need to get this place quicker, otherwise you might as well go to a huddle. It just seems like it takes too long. Pablo Moreno coming in on offense. First time we've seen him on offense today.
We'll see how long they read that.
Yeah, and all this time right now, we're coming close to another delay of game if we don't rush things up. Tiernan under center. Shaw directly behind him. Working out the signals. Hand it over right tackle, and Shaw's going to get nowhere. In fact, there's going to be a loss on the play of a yard, and it will be a 3rd down and 8 from the 7.
Nowhere to go.
33 yards on 8 carries for Steph tonight. An interception on defense. Tigers have had 2 picks off of them tonight. One of them by Skylar Cook and the other by Jose Rodriguez of the Spartans. 8:56 to go in the game. Clock still running. 3rd and 8 from the 7 for the Tigers. That's their own 7, by the way. Go back into the pistol formation. Shaw moves now over to the right side of Tiernan. Bad snap. Rolls on the ground. Tiernan picks it up. Has to roll out to his left. Looking downfield. Now passes it. And throws it short. And it's going to be intercepted by the Spartans. Yeah, it was just completely short. Centro's going to have the ball. Arturo Estrada with the interception. The 3rd pick of the night by the Spartan defense.
All he had to do is throw it behind Angel. Angel was already behind it and threw it short. Yeah, good call over here.
Yeah,
they should have just ran out of bounds or throw it out of bounds.
Punt, at least get the ball back to midfield. Instead, Central's going to have the ball 1st and 10 at the Tiger 22-yard line. Oh, my gosh. 8:29 to go in the ball game. Central leading at 27-0. Rodriguez still a quarterback with Sullivan directly behind him. Marini goes in motion. And up from the middle to Sullivan, and then kicks it to the outside, turns the corner, gets inside the 10-yard line, finally going to be stopped at about the 9. And it's a 1st and goal for Central.
They're just bouncing it to the outside.
Yeah, actually it's going to get to about the 8-yard line, gain of 14 yards on the play. 1st and goal Central.
I don't know if somebody's missing from that side of the defense. Like he was by himself for a long time there.
He's running back in. Nico Viesca comes in for Sullivan at the running back slot. Marini goes in motion. Rodriguez, no snap, picks it up. Marini's wide open, passes out to the left flat. He'll dive toward the end zone, will not quite make it, but will be stopped at about the 2. Be a 2nd down and goal from the 2.
Oh, it was Victor on this one. I couldn't see the number. Grabbed his foot and then kept them out of the end zone.
Actually, go to the 1-yard line. It's just 7-yard gain. And for Marini, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 catches on the night. He's wide open on that.
No, he wasn't. Nobody out there.
So 2nd and goal from the 1 for the Spartans. Trying to add to their 27-0 lead. It'd be a direct snap to Sullivan's situation. Try to get his foot. Oh, and he moved too soon.
He did it himself.
Well, you know, when I watch him, when it's going to be a running play, he steps back before he goes, and he moves before the snap of the ball. And that time he just moved before he got the snap.
Little stutter step.
Yeah. So the 5-yard penalty, I'll make it a 2nd and goal and put it back at the 6.
Not too excited, huh?
Yep. Yeah. He has scored 3 tonight and 14 on the season. He was chomping at the bit.
There he is.
Hit a 4th one tonight.
So bad he wants it.
Yes. Direct snap again to Sullivan. Follows the big guys up front. Powers his way, and the Tigers now stop him just inside the 5 at about the 3-yard line, it looks like. Big gain of 3. 3rd down and goal.
Give that one to Jose Apodaca along with Zach Ray.
146 yards for Sullivan tonight and 3 touchdowns. Clock continues to roll, 6.5 minutes to go. Game will be on next Friday night at Southwest in the Johnny Romero Fireman's Helmet Game, 13th annual. Johnny was a coach here in Imperial and at Southwest.
Yeah, I met him. He was working at the fire department here for the county. I was working on the phones.
Direct snap for Sullivan. Follows his line, gets in, walks in, stands up into the end zone. Touchdown Spartans. That'll make it 33-0. 3-yard TD. 4th of the night for Sullivan.
Yes. Great night for him.
4 plays on a drive after the interception. That's 2 touchdowns that have been after interceptions that have been within 22 yards of the end zone.
Yeah.
Can't do that as a good team. Rodriguez come in for the extra point attempt. Marini on the hold. Ball is down, the kick is up, and it's good. With 6:03 to go in the ball game, it's now the Spartans 34 and the Tigers 0.
Start that day off right with your favorite drink from Brick House Coffee, next door to Brick House Deli at the Lisa Tucker Center in Imperial. Brick House Coffee has so many drinks to choose from. Hot drinks, blended drinks, or cold drinks, including the best tea in the valley with different flavors. Open daily with a convenient drive-thru. And next door, Brick House Deli with big, full, fresh flavor. The Valley's premier deli, serving breakfast and lunch. So come visit them both at the Lisa Tucker Center on West Ayton Road in Imperial.
Scoring drive, 4 plays, 22 yards, took just 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Came after the interception by Arturo Estrada, and Spartans punch it in once again. 2 of their drives again have been after interceptions, and was a total of 26 yards. Kind of makes it easier. Right?
Yeah. Not hard at all from there.
Rodriguez kickoff. Barone will take it all the way back inside the 15-yard line. Out to the 25, still on his feet to the 30-yard line. If you run out of bounds at that point, that's where the Tigers roll the ball. 1st and 10 will be at their own 30-yard line. A terrible field position for the Tigers tonight, and no exception on this field.
Yeah, nothing to say. Alexander Parra, one that pushed him out of bounds.
So see if the Tigers can get on the board and avoid the shutout.
Get some of these new players on the radio here.
Yeah, please do.
Let me see. And then we got another new player in there, Elijah Acevedo.
Tiernan stays in the quarterback. Shaw in the backfield. Trips right for the Tigers. Ray, Perez. Tiernan looks over at the sideline and looks at his wrists. On the shotgun, gets the snap, goes back to pass. Sets up in the pocket or tries to, gets flushed out, and they're going to throw a short one to Seth Shaw. Shaw tries to juke his way and does so. Gets away from one Spartan, will get out across the 40-yard line to the 45. We're going to mark his forward progress at the 46, a gain of 16, and a first down for Imperial.
Number 32, Rudy Isaola brought him down. A couple of good little moves there by Seth. Break himself loose.
That 16-yarder gives the Tigers 65 yards passing tonight. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. And a little bit more of that rushing, and that's it. The Tiernan and Shaw in the backfield of the pistol. Tigers will have 2 wide receivers each side of the field. Tiernan goes back to pass. Sets up in the pocket. Goes it deep as a receiver. Robles is going to catch it at Central's 37-yard line. Going to be brought down at the 36, and a first down for Imperial.
That's something good.
18-yarder on that one.
I like the way he came back to get that.
Yeah, he did. Just a freshman. We're just going to continue to see good things out of this young man, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, with him and Rashad, we should have a bright future.
Robles and Ray will go wide to the right side. And now Perez will move over to the left side with Suarez. Perez goes in motion to the far side. Handoff goes over to Shaw. Shaw finds a little bit of running room on the left side, and then it collapses and brings him down to 31. Still a gain of 5, second down and 5.
Elijah Acevedo for the Spartans. They'll bring Seth down.
Now Seth will go out of the ball game, and Jimenez will come in to replace him.
Oh, sure.
The running back slot. Trips right this time for the Tigers. 3:57 to go. Clock running here in the fourth quarter. Central leading at 34-0. Tigers still taking a long time. I'm just waiting for the delay call.
Too much.
Snap back to Tiernan. Sets up in the pocket. Now has to get flushed out. Runs out to his right side. Is tripped, but gets the pass off. There's nobody out there.
He was out. I wonder if he was outside of the.
Yeah. Going to fall incomplete. It'll be a third down and 5 from the 31.
Yeah, I think he could have done that over towards Gio a little bit closer. He might have gone for it. Almost looked like a screen pass. He had 4 defenders on him.
Yeah. So it's 3rd down and 5. Tigers at the Central 31-yard line. Clock stopped with 3 threes on the board remaining in this game. Turner moves Jimenez from his right side to his left. Now moves him back behind him. Now they're in the pistol. And it looks over the defense. The snap. And then he ran the wrong way. He moved Jimenez to go behind him, and then he went to the right, and Jimenez went to the left, and the miscommunication makes it a 4th down and 10 back at the 36.
36, 42, 52. Nah, it's too far.
10 yards on 8 carries. I don't know. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
You might as well. I mean, if you don't make it, the ball goes to the 20-yard line.
No.
Right?
CJ staying out. JJ do his right.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'd have thought about going for it if he even thought he could do it. You know, he'd have to have in his mind that he could. So 4th down and 10 from the 36. Clock continues to roll. 2:45 to go. Back to pass Tiernan. Looks out to the right side. Short pass. Not going to make a 1st down. His diving for the catch is Robles. But it's going to be way short of the 1st down at the 32-yard line. Only a gain of 4. And Central will take over on downs.
I just don't know. I wish 16 would have got in there, just changed it up.
I agree.
It just
couldn't have made it any worse. Right, couldn't hurt him though. So Central gets the ball. They have the ball at the 37-yard line. Oh, they're going to say that was an incomplete pass.
Oh yeah, no, it bounced. It bounced.
I wasn't sure if he was able to scoop it up. So the pass is incomplete, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of Central. Damian Rodriguez stays in at quarterback. Behind him, he has Nico Viesca, sophomore, 5'8", 175. Rainey in motion. And a low snap. It's going to be fumbled. Viesca, good job of catching it in midair, because that was just a fumbled snap, and it will go nowhere. He lost the yard.
Did he hand that off, or did he toss it forward?
He tried to hand it off, and then it got knocked in the air, and then Viesca went to get it. I think he kind of got him a shoulder pad on the handoff.
And he got hit immediately.
Yeah, he did. So loss of a yard back to the 36. And it'll be a 2nd and 11 from there. 2:04 to go in the ball game. Central up 34-0. We'll quickly wrap this one up at the end of the ball game. And after Viesca, another fumble. Then Viesca bounces off the ground and picks it up and runs across the 40-yard line to about the 41 before he gets run out of bounds.
Darian Romo pushed him out of bounds.
It's going to be a 5-yard gain on it. Yeah, it feels like a basketball.
Yeah, he's not getting them the ball. It's like up on his shoulders. He's a lot shorter than Sullivan, that's why.
5-yard gain on that. It's 3rd down and 6 from the 41. Clock rolling, 1:19 to go. And Central just taking their time. They have a couple of receivers way out to the far side. And Rodriguez will have Viesca.
Why not just take a needle?
Same starters other than the running back. You got Marini still in there. You have that number 5 we still don't know identified as. Viesca gets the handoff up the middle, bounces to the outside. He's going to get the 1st down. Still on his feet across the 50-yard line. Finally going to be pushed out of bounds at the Tiger 48. Oh, penalty flag down. That's fine. We got a penalty flag. We're going to have a holding call against Central. That's nice little run, though.
Yeah, what?
Sophomore running back.
You can see the strength of his legs right there. Yeah. He cut that. At full speed, he cut sharp. Angel Barone pushed him out. I didn't see the call. Did you see it?
Call. Jonathan called it. That was a call.
Oh, okay. I missed it. That's the longest call. My phone I didn't have it. Yeah. This one doesn't work.
It's the plan runner right now. The penalty will bring the ball back to the Spartan 34-yard line. Third down at about 14.
I see Johnny Palmer working on the shot over at the sideline.
40 seconds remaining in the game. Central still taking their time, and now has Marini go in motion to the far side. Rodriguez gets the snap, hand off to Viesca, and he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage at the 30, a loss of 4, and that'll probably be the end of the ballgame.
KJ Jimenez.
No reason to snap it again. And the Spartans will run the record of 5-3 and 3-0 in league, and it'll be the Spartans and the Wildcats for the IBL championship at El Centro next Friday night.
Wow.
Big game. And at the Victory Bell, everything's on the line for the Spartans and the Wildcats next week. And of course, the Wildcats they took the bell back last year.
Yeah, they did.
The so you know Central's going to want to come back and get that next week. The teams are around the middle of the field now, going through a line to congratulate each other, and we'll come back to re-dance the rest of this ball game in just a moment.
Start that day off right with your favorite drink from Brick House Coffee, next door to Brick House Deli at the Lisa Tucker Center in Imperial. Brick House Coffee has so many drinks to choose from. Hot drinks, blended drinks, or cold drinks, including the best tea in the valley with different flavors. Open daily with a convenient drive-thru. And next door, Brick House Deli with big, full, fresh flavor. The Valley's premier deli, serving breakfast and lunch. So, come visit them both at the Lisa Tucker Center on West Ayton Road in Imperial.
For over 60 years, the Imperial Quarterback Club has supported all sports teams at Imperial High School. The money they raise goes a long way, keeping our kids busy with school activities. Members are parents and community people who care and want to donate their time. If you would like to become a member, call Betty or Larry Zinn at 760-355-1312. That's 760-355-1312. The Quarterback Club wishes the Imperial Tigers a great season. Go Tigers!
Have you been wanting new flooring but putting it off? Don't wait anymore. Derma Floor Covering has the flooring you want at blowout prices. Yes, I mean blowout prices. Hardwood plank, regularly priced $9.99 a square yard, now $3.99 a square yard, and over 1,100 square feet in stock. Select tile, regularly priced $5.99 to $6.49 a square foot, now on sale at $1.34 to $1.99 a square foot. Stop by Derma's Floor Covering today, 220 North J Street in Imperial. Your flooring wishes can come true at Derma's Floor Covering.
Final score here in Imperial was Central Spartans 34, the Imperial Tigers 0. And the Spartans had a 20-0 lead at halftime. They would make it 27-0 on a 7-play, 80-yard drive using 3 minutes and 46 seconds off the clock, capped up by an 8-yard touchdown run by Charlie Sullivan, his third of the night. The extra point by Miles Rodriguez, and it was a 27-0 Spartan lead with 8:14 to go in the third quarter. Then they ran it out to scoring with the 6:03 mark of the ball game after an interception by Arturo Estrada set the table up at the 22-yard line of Imperial. 4 plays later, a 3-yard rush by Sullivan, giving him 4 touchdowns on the night. It took him 2 minutes and 26 seconds, but the 22 yards is the big kicker right there, and that gave us the final score of 34-0. For the victorious Spartans, Damian Rodriguez would complete 14 of 23 passes for 204 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. They would be led by Gavin Marini, 7 catches for 78 yards. As we mentioned, there's one player that we could not get a name on who got 3 passes for 49 yards. Then 1 each for Sergio Garcia of 39 yards. And then Jared Martin had 1 catch for 31 and a touchdown. 1 catch for 5 yards for Arturo Estrada, and then 1 catch for 4 yards by Charlie Sullivan to add up to the 204. Sullivan, though, would make his mark rushing, 21 carries, 149 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Central. And then only 3 other carries by anybody else on the team, and that was Nico Viesca, who had 3 carries, ended up as a net of 0, so a total of 149 rushing, 204 passing for a total of 353 yards. Needless to say, the Tigers don't come close to that. DJ Tiernan would complete 7 of 21 passes for 83 yards and 2 interceptions, make it 3 interceptions in the game. Of those 7 catches, 2 catches for 49 yards by the freshman receiver, Gio Robles. There would be 2 catches for 10 yards by Rashard Robinson, 1 catch for 8 yards by Zach Ray, 1 catch for 2 yards by Ali Perez, and in a 16-yarder late in the game by Seth Shaw, made a good catch and run for 16 yards. But a total of 83 yards passing for the Tigers. Rushing, 38 yards each for Robinson. He had it on 4 carries. Shaw on 9 carries, each with 38 yards. And then Tiernan, 8 carries, ends up being 10 yards after a couple of sacks. So a total of 86 yards rushing with 83 passing, 169 yards of offense by the Tigers. And again, we just got to get something to get the offense going. We're just not getting any offense at all. Let's take a look at the defensive stats. We weren't able to get that at halftime. We'll take a look at that as we wrap up the evening in just a minute.
Have you been wanting new flooring but putting it off? Don't wait anymore. Derma Floor Covering has the flooring you want at blowout prices. Yes, I mean blowout prices. Hardwood plank, regularly priced $9.99 a square yard, now $3.99 a square yard, and over 1,100 square feet in stock. Select tile, regularly priced $5.99 to $6.49 a square foot, now on sale at $1.34 to $1.99 a square foot. Stop by Derma's Floor Covering today, 220 North State Street in Imperial. Your flooring wishes can come true at Derma's Floor Covering.
Wake up with Broken Yolk Café, open daily at 7 a.m., serving your favorite breakfast from omelets, pancakes, eggs benedict, waffles, and yes, Mexican breakfast too. Broken Yolk Café serves lunch till 2 p.m. from sandwiches, salads, and yes, of course, the all-American cheeseburger. Broken Yolk Café thanks you for voting us the best breakfast in town. Once again, you can order online at Broken Yolk Café, El Centro, or call 760-352-9655.
Okay, we'll do that. In fact, we just got a commercial for Broken Yolk, and we'll be there for breakfast in the morning. Thanks for coming again. Thank you for your time. 9? But you figure it back. I'm good anytime. All right, George, defensive stats.
Let's see what we got here. I have J.J. Jimenez, sophomore, with leading all tacklers with 8, and then Zach Ray with 7. The bad ones are Seth Shaw and Devin Mesa, each with 4. That did have that pick. Stop the drive. Where was it at? I don't remember. Where was that? Oh, was it when he laid out over here?
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Moreno also with 4. And then Aiden Shields ended up with 3. Ravia Campos only had 2. Pablo Moreno was usually one of our leading tacklers.
Right.
Ended up with 1.
Didn't call his name too much.
No, not that. Victor Valenzuela with 3. And then the 2 that came in late in the game, Angel Barone and Darian Romo, each with 1. That's nice.
I think the big keys in this, first touchdown by the Spartans came after an interception that they got her 4-yard line, punched it in.
Oh, yeah.
And then the touchdown when the extra play was gone in the second quarter before the half. Instead of going 14-0 at the half, it's 20-0 at the half. And it just seemed like the Tigers couldn't get anything going after that point in the ball game, and then the Spartans added a couple more touchdowns, and that gave us the final score.
Yeah, we went flat. We
totally
got back on our heels, and no fun after that.
So hopefully the Tigers will be on their game next week. We'll be in Southwest to take on the Eagles. Final game of IVO for both teams, final regular season game for both teams, and Tigers try to make a good mark to set up for the playoffs the following week.
Yes.
They came into this game as number 6. They're playing an upper division school that's number 5. You wouldn't think that would hurt them too much, but we lost 2 positions after last week's overtime loss.
2-2.
Yeah, to a division school. You never know.
Yeah.
So, but we'll keep you abreast of whatever happens on that. But one game at a time. It'll be Imperial of Southwest next Friday night.
Yeah, and I hope Rashad is okay. They're still on him. Johnny Palmer's still working on.
It just didn't look good when he was limping up and down. And you saw that he really wanted to get out there and contribute and couldn't do it, and I'm sure that just frustrated him.
Yeah. When they told him he's not going anymore, he was so upset.
Yeah.
Forget. I like him. I like his heart.
I do too. One of those young men that's yes sir, no sir, and you love to see that respect, that he has, and he's got so much heart for the ball game, and he misses 2 games, comes back out, gets out there, plays really hard, gets injured again, and you just really feel for the young man. So hopefully he'll be able to play next week against the Eagles. But we'll be on the air at 6:45 on Friday night.
Or at least for the playoffs. I'd like to have him back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Next week we shouldn't need him.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Hopefully it won't be so close next week that we would need him.
Yeah.
And but we're going to need to get some more running backs. I mean, Seth can't carry the whole load.
No.